Yeah, because I don't even know when he.
We don't know. We don't know. Although we've come to the end of the road, so I can't let go. Hey, what's going on, people? Unfortunately, as y'all saw the result, the Falcons did lose 29-15, which basically means no playoffs. As y'all probably wonder why there's no green screen. Since we hit a brick wall today, I said, might as well have the brick wall behind me, live and in person. But, man,
Uh,
what can
I'm mad. I was mad.
what can we say about what happened in this game? Um, Mike, what what do you think? What do you think happened in this game?
I'm gonna just say this. Get this out of the way real quick. All right, those refs was fucking, and they were just atrocious today, and that's why I don't like doing live shows or even live chats because y'all get to really see the crazy me during these games because I was upset, bro. I was pissed off. I wasn't trying to hear nothing. I wasn't trying to hear nothing. Like these refs were missing obvious call. This man up here diving in the end zone. They they calling. They saying he down. Like that's just like today was just atrocious. Man getting slapped upside the head. No call. This man whole head done like a damn bobblehead, and these motherfuckers ain't calling nothing. His head just like how the hell you not call? You standing right there. How the hell are you standing right there and you still don't call it? So like today, I just like for me, I said this in the chat. Like I said, I don't like doing live shows, live chats like during the game because I'm an absolute maniac. I'm a maniac doing the game. Any and everything will come out. So, like I said, man, today the refs just for me, I'm just say this, and this could be very biased, but it just seems like they had it in for the Falcons. They whatever they needed to do, they had to make sure that Buffalo won this game, and that's just my biased opinion. I'm just gonna be real. My biased opinion is that it seemed like they were just gonna make sure Buffalo got in, and Falcons were not gonna see it because at the end of the day, the playoffs for the NFL, it's about money. It's about star power and be able to sell a guy. And we don't really have anybody to sell. Don't have a outside of Matt Ryan and Grady Jarrett. Those guys not exciting. So again, that's just my humble opinion, man. But the Falcons, I'm proud of what I saw. I love the play calling for Arthur Smith. And man, that damn Dean Pease was an absolute maniac. That dude is, I told you, that dude is a fucking genius, bro. He's a damn genius. And we saw today he playing with scrubs. He playing with scrubs. And he forced what? Four turnovers. The defense forced like 4 turnovers today. So look, man.
Can I intervene and everything? I just wanted to get on because I know you mad, and let me come in with the calm voice for a moment because, of course, I got a COVID scare, so I'm not getting on the screen, everybody. But today showed that we do have that heart, though. You know, despite what was going on, it looked like we already know the game was written. You know, I'm proud of everything that the improvement that we've seen this season. Nobody even expected us to be where we are, nobody, so it's like I'm very happy of what we have become. And I'm for Arthur Smith being, first time head coach, and he pulled this team the way he pulled it. The sky is the limit at this point. So we can focus on the off season and what we need. And I'm happy. I'm very happy at the results. I'm disappointed in today. I definitely know that, it was definitely not on our side. People going to be in their feelings. Oh, y'all blaming the refs and everything. But come on, y'all watch that game. And Matt Ryan tried his best to put this team on his back despite it. And you got to give Matt Ryan, I don't give a fuck what y'all say, all the props this season. You hear me? That's it. I'm tired of everybody getting on him. Matt Ryan is this organization alone at times. You got to give this man more credit. You do. I'm tired of it. We got to get behind this quarterback. He's here to stay. There's nothing else you can do about it. At the end of the day, tank, whatever. Why would professional players tank? I'm sick of it. And that's all I got to say. I'm going to go get better. And, y'all pray for me. I hope. I'm in Georgia. We're waiting on COVID tests, and I can't even get one till next week. So y'all pray. Y'all be safe out there, people. Well,
all right. Hopefully you get better. Hopefully everything get better. But we got a $10 super chat here from Matty Ghost. He said, "Go Falcons, Terry Fontenot in the NFL draft and offseason with free agents. Season was over when we lost against Washington. I'm looking forward to April. It's mock draft time." I had to disagree on that one. I wouldn't say the season was lost against Washington. I mean, as far as the final standings of it, yes, that game kind of played a part in it. I'm going to go a different route with this one. I'm not going to go say much on the refs as well, even though you saw quite a few calls. At the end of the day, the main thing that happened was we didn't tackle well on defense. Like I said, even though DNPs did call a good game, you were seeing guys bouncing off tackles. You saw Matt Ryan getting hit. You saw wide receivers couldn't get open. Like you said, the key thing was when Kyle Pitts went down after that turnover, you kind of saw the offense. You saw the offense sputter because now who else you got that can step up? Now, like I said, so y'all surprising that I'm not on here cutting up and acting a rant. But the reality of it is this is just part of the game. But one thing I will say that did kind of make me mad, and I almost threw my phone at the screen. I'm sorry, Jew, but your boy Dante Fowler, his ass need to teach a karate class or something. Cause boy, I saw nothing but hurricane kicks, and I saw him doing kip ups and stuff, and that was one of them.
The man actually had a sack, and he still missed that. Had the man wrapped up in his arms. Oh God.
Yeah. And if you notice a lot of those quarterback powers and draws that they was running with Josh Allen, they was running to Fowler because even though they was running to Fowler, and that's the main thing that I'm sorry, Jew, but Kung Fu Panda.
Bruh,
he really got put in the limelight.
That man was doing them damn some, you know, one of them damn when you're in the Olympics, they be doing them damn, they be diving off the damn top. That's what he was doing. He was just like diving backwards, like he diving in the damn pool. I'm like, what the hell is that? Nobody teaches that crap.
I'm sorry, boy. That boy look like Rey Mysterio Jr. jumping off the top rope, bro. I'm
Bro.
sorry.
That's what he looked like. I was like, dude, what are you doing?
Oh man. But yeah, it's just one of those things. Is at the end, like Josh Allen did not have a good game. This was one of them things. That was one of the pluses. Everybody was thinking that Josh Allen was gonna come in and torch our offense. No, you got turnovers on him. He didn't throw the ball particularly well
At all.
But the problem was after that turnover in the third quarter, like I said, when Kyle Pitts went down, the first play, Matt Ryan got sacked twice. After that turnover, the momentum that we had was completely gone. So, regardless of what a lot of people say, hey, your quarterback getting hit 10 fucking times in the game, bro. That is crazy. We got a $4.99 super chat. He said, I'm not even mad at Matt for the taunting. Emotions were running high. Matt knew the stakes. And like I said, that comes down to it as well, man. It was and I think the one play that Matt got hurt. I mean, the one play that Matt did mess up on, it wasn't even a taunt. It was the one where he went past the line of scrimmage and threw the ball to Cordarrelle. That was another one of those momentum plays it stopped momentum. But at the end of the day, throughout the whole spectrum of this game, it just came down to, like Mike said, you got to try to make some plays. That's why I said you had to persevere. This would have definitely been a game that you would need a Calvin Ridley or somebody just to take some pressure off of Parker Hesse over here making more plays than most of the receivers.
Bro! This is crazy. Bro. Parker Hesse was making more plays than our wide receiver. He is the practice squad tight end.
Bro, did you hear what the announcer said? They said the Falcons had the least amount of receiving yards and receptions from wide receivers in the league. Hold on.
And y'all think we not? Y'all really think we're not getting a receiver? Okay.
Hold on. Bro.
Okay.
We got some super chats.
You see what Jamar Chase and what they doing and Higgins doing up in Cincinnati? We getting the receiver. You can mark it down and take a picture, bro.
Hold on.
I promise you.
We got to hit these super chats, but the grooming spirit said, let's let the rebuild stage start. Do you really think we're going to trade Matt Ryan like they are rumoring? The issue is you're not going to be able to. If you do trade him, you better hope that team takes on the rest of his money. Because if
you're going to see a whole bunch of Parker Hesses on this team. I'll just say that.
y'all thought we had great value players now. You trade him, boy, ain't going to be nothing but great value in it. Man, it goes with the $5 super chat said, we need Dante Fowler failure to leave like AB and never come back along with Steven Means and Tyler Davidson. I'm like, good Lord. Hold on.
Man, I'll rip the damn shirt off my damn self. He ain't even got to do it. I'll do it my damn self. I'll just rip that shit off.
Oh, man. Go ahead, Jew. Go ahead, Jew. We got one more guest, but Jew, go ahead, get a quick take on your game, and we're going to bring our guest in right quick.
Did y'all already touch on the refs already? I don't know if y'all touched.
That was the first thing.
Go ahead. Do your thing, dude.
Y'all talking about the infamous gave itself up at the goal line play of Matt Ryan. Because
who the hell?
These refs, man. The first thing I'm gonna talk about is the refs. I hate bringing the refs into it, but some rules are not black and white. Like it's a lot of gray area in some of these rules. It's been like that with the catch. We all remember the Dez Bryant catch or no catch in Green Bay where he tried to slam the ball over the goal line. They be talking about it. They were talking about it for years. Where clearly he caught the ball, he was running down the field and tried to dive and put the ball in over the end zone or over the score touchdown. Similar play with this Matt Ryan situation. these refs have to learn how to use common sense. Like, I can understand if Matt Ryan was in the middle of the field running with the ball and he went down. Okay, he gave himself up. Clearly, you could see Matt Ryan was trying to dive. And you can clearly see after he got up and spiked the ball in Poyer's face that he thought he scored a touchdown. That clearly shows that he wasn't giving himself up. And he didn't get touched until after he had crossed the goal line. So, I mean, that's common sense. Like, it doesn't take a genius to understand what Matt Ryan was doing on that play. So that's why I get ticked off with some of these rules where it's the gray area, because I kind of feel like the refs at certain times, it's like, I hate to bring the refs in it and say that the refs are cheating. But when you look at certain plays, like in this game, you had the one play with Russell Gage, they had the pass interference. It was blatant pass interference. The guy was holding Russell Gage the whole time. He was way past 5 yards down the field, and the guy was holding him. They waited until Russell Gage had his hands up like this the whole time, like, where's the flag? Then the flag comes in late. You shouldn't have to wait on the player to basically try to negotiate a call. Like, some of the calls that they missed, and I understand the refs are going to miss calls at times. That's understandable. But some of the calls, like that Russell Gage, when they did actually throw the flag after he complained about it, that was a clear hold. You can see that he got held. Why wait on Russell Gage to complain about it? You can see the guy had him wrapped up clearly. Also, Matt Ryan being slapped in the back of the head. We could clearly see Matt Ryan got pimp slapped in the back of the head by the defensive end. Like, why Matt Ryan? And they didn't call nothing on that play. Matt Ryan's like, he clearly slapped me in the head. I've clearly seen Tom Brady get slapped on the shoulder pad in an AFC Championship game against the Chiefs, and they threw a flag. So I'm like, some of this stuff, like, come on, it's blatant. It's like it's in your face, blatant. You can clearly see it. That's the reason you have a back judge. You didn't see Matt Ryan get slapped in the back of the helmet? I mean, come on, like, those are easy calls. The one on the goal line, okay, that's a judgment call. But to me, they made the wrong decision. When you say something is a judgment call, that means you got to use your common sense, use your brain. If you see a guy running at the goal line and he dives and he's not sliding feet first, but he's diving head first, clearly Matt Ryan was going in to score a touchdown on that play, and clearly he wasn't giving himself up at the 1 yard line. I can understand if maybe the game was on the line where you're trying to run the clock out like Todd Gurley tried to do last year, where he accidentally scored a touchdown and he tried to lay down at the 1 yard line. Clearly, you got to understand, just like we say coaches got to understand time and possession, it's the same thing for referees. You have to understand situations, situational football. In that instance, we clearly can see Matt Ryan was trying to score the touchdown. It was clear. And to me, a lot of people may say, well, you still had third down to score. You still had fourth down to score. It is momentum. It's the same thing we've seen with CP when they called back the touchdown against the 49ers. It's the momentum that you can't get back. In that situation, not only did Matt Ryan not score, but then they called the penalty, which pushed him like 15 yards out. So it's like, bro, we got screwed.
Oh, I lost my mind. You really gonna call this man literally called a taunting penalty on a quarterback, bro?
Yeah. It was crazy.
That was petty. That was petty.
Yeah, it was just like, and then another thing, that's another rule that they're gonna have to go and look at. That's a whole nother show. K-Styles, maybe that's a good topic we can talk about on another day. But these taunting penalties, we got to take that out of the game, and they got to go and look at the plays that can be reviewed. Because to me, a lot of these plays where it's coming down to crucial, like that was a crucial situation.
Like
scores, you make that a one possession game. Like a lot of people looking at like, so what? It was still a lot of time in the game if they give us that score right there. So you take a touchdown off the board, plus you move us back 15 yards. So to me, that was like the game that killed the game right there, and it basically take the wins out of your sail. Like Matt Ryan got up celebrating. Now it's like not only they're back on the sideline thinking they can score the touchdown. Now they get called back on the field like none of that mattered. That was not a touchdown, and we're gonna move you back 15 yards. So I mean, that just takes all the wind out of your sails. All the momentum is basically dead at that point. So it's like what you expect Matt Ryan and these guys to do. Basically, once you've taken the game basically from them, because you basically just took that touchdown off the board because you felt like he was giving himself up. Where clearly the situation, just look at the situation. The dude is diving head first. Like, come on.
Hey, before Money Man, before you get on, hold on, let me get these super chats out the way. Let me get them out the way. Robert Ponder with the 499 said, proud of my Falcons, make playoff next year. Hope Hennessy and Fowler missed the flight home. Ricardo here, 499. Holla, holla, holla. Said good first season. Sky's the limit. That was a damn touchdown. Hey. Like I said, it's a judgment call, man. But at the we gonna talk about that later on as well. But the Groomer Experience came another $2 super chat. Said rumor is Denver might try to get him.
Okay.
Hold on. There's a comment right here. Was Aaron Rodgers talking shit to the fans considered taunting?
Exactly. When he was telling the Bears that he owned them and he was doing the championship belt in front of everybody. Yeah.
All right, Money Man, what you got for us?
What's up, man? How y'all doing?
Man.
I'm just devastated right now. Like, my whole feelings just hurt. I'm really in my feelings. Like, I'm really hurt. And I just knew that we was gonna have some fight in us, even though when we came out, the defense was looking sloppy. All these missed tackles, diving all across the plays, and I'm like, "What the world going on here? Like, what's going on?" Then I saw the defense straighten up, and I was like, "Oh, we got a chance here." And I said, "We're gonna be one of them teams that sneak in the playoffs, and everybody gonna take us lightly, and we make it to the NFC Championship game." I said that. I said nobody expecting us. I said nobody expecting us to do it, but we probably might be the one to do it. You never know. And I feel like it was a lot of bad calling in the game because I feel like when Matt Ryan ran that touchdown, he wasn't never down by contact. And then you take the ball back to the 15-yard line. Like that's why like the defense, that's why like the offense didn't even care no more at that point. Because and then Arthur Smith made a bad call because on that fourth down, instead of going for it, you should have kicked the field goal and boom, you got a 3-point game. And then you come back for the touchdown. I don't feel like he should have went for it on that fourth down. I felt like that was a bad call.
Which one you talking about? At the end of the game?
Yeah, at the end of the game when Matt Ryan, when they went for it on that fourth and goal from the 15.
The only problem with that is even if you'd have went down, you'd still been down by 11.
You still been down 11. There's still left like 6 or 7 minutes left. There's still been plenty more time.
But did you see how the defense was getting ran on? Do you think they would have took a chance on that shit?
Yeah. And another thing about Matt Ryan that seems to irk me real bad. All right, you got a lot of like you sitting back there in the pocket. Don't get me wrong now. Matt Ryan is a fighter. I don't give a care how many sacks he take a game, how many interceptions he throws. He get back that next series and go try to fight back. He fights back. But at the same time, Matt Ryan need to do a better job. Matt Ryan need to do a better job at how he was moving out the pocket, running out the pocket, then making passes back from the line of scrimmage. Like he was doing a better job because it opens up and extends the play for receivers and tight ends to get open. Because not everybody running back downfield to stop Matt Ryan.
LT, you look like you got something to say.
Every time Matt Ryan scrambled on the pass, it was successful, right?
Hold on, say that again.
Every time Matt Ryan scrambled, made a throw on the scramble, it was a successful pass, right? It opened up like on that pass he made the Hesse.
Yeah, but you have to think about it as well. That's because Hesse was blocking at the beginning, so he leaked out. But the problem is, hold on.
LT, you got it.
Go ahead, LT. I can explain that later, but go ahead. What you got for?
I mean, because he's saying that, but dog, like the Falcons receivers been having issues coming open all year. No matter how much Matt try to extend the play, like if you saw a good portion of the season, they literally been spying Matt for that reason. They know Atlanta receivers can't come over, so they basically been spying him. So if he do try to take off, they are literally they're on him. Like it's nothing we can really do. It's nothing he can really do if his receivers can't come open. No matter if you're scrambling or not, if your guys can't come open, they can't beat their one-on-ones. There's nothing you can do.
Hey, before we finish up, let's get a couple of these super chats out the way. Daniel Bright said, replay show Matt Ryan taunting on Matty Wills, bitch. Oh, man. I think that's the only one I saw. Hold on.
So?
All right, go ahead, LT. Go ahead, and finish up.
No.
Teacher Red said Juice face after Matt got pimp slapped.
I will say this though, like I don't the miss roughing the passer call. They showed the replay. How do you not call that when you are literally like 5 feet behind this man? Like you are right there.
Oh,
like
look.
you are right here. It like this, like okay, this is my hand, and this is me. Like this is what the referee was, and you telling me you don't see that? Like, come on, dog. Come on, bro. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Oh man.
Like, and I hate using referees as a cop out because that's not me. But seeing like the missed calls and the non calls, like you kept the 15-yard penalty on a taunting call on Matt, but you don't call the late hit on the defender that hit this man in the end zone. Like, make that make sense.
Oh well, yeah.
All right, what we got next? Go ahead. I just
hold on. We got another super chat. We gotta get out the way. Said we need to keep Ryan build trenches. If he becomes a punching bag, oh well, at least our team will be built for when we get another eventual quarterback. Exactly. Let him be the sacrificial lamb. If y'all want to put it like that, build the team around protecting his ass, and then the next quarterback come in, we'll already have a better situation. If you trade him this offseason and you get a new quarterback coming in with this, and you already ain't got no cap space, we're gonna be looking for the same exact thing. Oh, I thought Dre, you coming on, or we gonna go ahead and continue? Where you at, Dre? Until he get back on, what else could we say about this game, fellas? Like I said, I already had to talk about. I'm sorry, this is gonna be the first time.
Hey, K, before you go, I got one other thing I kind of wanted to talk about because I kind of went in on the refs. But another thing that I noticed early in the game, what we dug ourselves in that big hole is early in the game, the turnovers were crucial for us. The turnovers, like we've seen this in previous games that we lost, similar to the 49ers game early in the game where we caused Allison caused the fumble on the first kickoff. Same thing in this game with that punt. When you cause that fumble, A.B. Williams caused that early fumble on that. I think it was a punt return, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the punt return.
Yeah, on that punt return, you got to score when you get like a touchdown in the red zone. I don't think we scored on that drive. So like,
but they got safety on that play.
Yeah, okay, yeah, they got a safety. That's true. They got a safety
on that play.
But I just feel like the turnover battle. Like I believe we had 2 early turnovers. You can't have that. Matt Ryan with the strip sack, and that goes back to what Money Man was saying about Matt Ryan running. Another thing, and LT was talking about it, if your quarterback's back there scrambling for his life because nobody's getting open, we seen Matt Ryan, that's how he got sacked by Greg Rousseau. He didn't know he was coming up behind him. He's trying to scramble and create, more time for those guys to get open. He's looking down the field. I don't know how many times this season I've seen Matt Ryan get hit, strip sack, fumble, because he's trying to, hold the ball, wait for somebody to get open instead of just throwing it out of bounds. So that's just another thing. But I feel like early in the game, I really feel like what dug us that hole is we weren't making the offense of the Bills drive. That sack fumble gave them a short field in our plus territory, which gave them basically two easy scores early in the game with those 2 turnovers. So that's something that we definitely got to look forward to working on next year is when we get those opportunities. In this instance with Avery Williams, I forgot that we did actually, it was a safety, but I feel like this year we really did a good job of when we do get turnovers, capitalizing on those turnovers. If we go back to the Patriots game, you got AJ Terrell with the pick. He runs it down, to our plus territory. We don't score a touchdown. Like it's been too many times this year where we're on the goal line or in the red zone and we're not scoring touchdowns and we're not getting any points. Like how we talk about those I always talk about those 2 to 3 plays in the game that'll change the game as far as momentum. I feel like that's pretty much kind of what killed this game. But to me, in this game, it was more the refs taking the momentum away from us. But we just got to be better. I think next year we were better at 1 possession games, but I don't think we did a good job of when we got turnovers, capitalizing on those turnovers and scoring touchdowns. Because we know, as you said, K-Styles, our defense, they couldn't really stop the run today. They were doing what they want. Josh Allen was running like crazy, and they basically was chewing up clock. Like you said right there, if we kick a field goal, chances are we don't get the ball back because they were chewing up that clock like crazy. So we always say the trenches is going to be huge. And as Mike said earlier early in the show, we definitely going out and getting more wide receivers. We got to, because we don't got guys that can beat man-to-man press coverage one-on-one without Matt Ryan improvising. We can't count on Matt Ryan to improvise and hold the ball and run around and play street football. Like this is the NFL. You got to have guys that can beat guys mano-a-mano is matchups. And when Kyle Pitts left the game, that was another crucial moment. When I seen Kyle Pitts lead a game, I'm like, oh man, now we really don't have nobody that can draw double coverage and nobody that, if Matt Ryan just throws it up like he did at the end of we try to throw it up at the ends where Blake tried to go up with one hand and catch it. Chances are, if that's Kyle Pitts and you throw the ball up, we'll have a better chance at making a play like that, in a crucial situation because of his size, his athleticism, and he's just a freak. We didn't have anybody out there that could do anything at that point.
Okay, let me kind of what you saying, because I agree in so many terms about we have to score on turnovers. The issue that been hurting the Falcons, like when you look at the situation, what you said, like games against like the Patriots and whatnot, like it's hard for us to capitalize when our only source of offensive productivity besides Matt is being taken out because they know he's pretty much the only thing we got. And between him and Cordarrelle Patterson, that's all we really got. I mean, now, like I said, I do agree we have to learn to score in the red zone, but I feel like next year when we get the necessary guys that want to be here and want to be successful on this team, we will do that. The gripe that I have is really still on the defense, and that's because and this been going on since the beginning of the season, not getting off the field on 3rd and 4th down. That has got to change next year. We're getting turnovers, which is fine. But when we talk about 3rd and 4th downs, you got to get off the field. Listen, the Falcons have no respect across the league. Do you know how many teams that just say, if we going to go for it on 4th down on us this year? It's ridiculous. Like, it's like they look at it's the Falcons defense, go for it.
Right.
Like that,
right.
That says a lot, and that has to change.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I saw something here that was in the comments earlier. I want to get y'all thoughts on this. It was basically that decision to punt when we was on their 35. From what I saw, they was kicking against, I think they said it was like 17-mile-per-hour winds at that moment. So do you kind of feel like they still should have took that chance to kick that field goal? Or do you
Absolutely
think it was
not.
Nah, they shouldn't have. They shouldn't have.
Yeah, cause that's kind of what I was thinking, because if you miss that field goal going against the winds like that, now you put them even in a closer situation to score. So it was all about playing. It was all about playing the field position. Because like I said, you kicking against some winds that's going up to 10, 15 miles per hour ain't no damn joke. Young Ray Cool's a Pro Bowl kicker.
You gotta look at it like this. I want to say something. You gotta look at it like this. Playing in that kind of condition as a team from down south, you know it gets cold up north, and you know it. The conditions up there, a lot of those teams play outside. They play outside. So when I saw the conditions, I was like, the Falcons got to score a lot of points, and if they don't score a lot of points or they don't compete, they're gonna lose this game. And we saw what happened.
The cardio is different also. The cardio is different also when you're playing in cold conditions. It's not like playing in the air is different,
right?
And
right,
like I said, it plays into your cardio. So, and that Arthur did the right thing. For one, the defense was already playing pretty damn good. If you get 3 turnovers off one of the better quarterbacks in the league, there's no reason for you to not believe in your defense at that point in time. If they're not playing well, then you could see why he would, make a different choice. But at that point, the defense they're getting turnovers. Again, this is one of the better quarterbacks in the league. You got to continuously believe in him. So I think he made the right decision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he did too. And I applaud what the defense did today. A lot of the calls didn't go our way today, but I said the point.
What about that catch early on? Do y'all think that was a catch? I'm sorry.
Hell no. Hell no. Come on, hell no.
You know what? Honestly, it shouldn't even got to it.
I looked at it again. Yeah, it kind of was, because even when he did bobbled it, his foot never left the ground.
It should never got to that point. At the end of the day,
this is what we talk about as far as finishing plays and finishing drives. We never need to be looking back at plays like that.
Exactly. It should never got to the point, because when AJ Terrell got the interception, it should never got to the point. We should have stepped on the next end.
I gotta stop. I have to ask you the guy this question. If we're going to demand perfection from our players, shouldn't we demand perfection from the refs too?
Of course.
And we should. All these are professionals. These are professionals. This ain't rookies. This ain't college. This ain't high school. These are professional refs. So we're going to have that same energy for our players. We got to have that same energy towards, because they decide games. They decide momentum. So we got to have, I understand from a player standpoint when we're saying, hey, it shouldn't have got to that point, but refs are professional too. These are the best of the best. And if they're not doing their job to the best ability, what are we really saying here? We holding the players more accountable, or we holding the refs more accountable? Everybody should be lumped into the same circle.
Exactly. That's why I'm agreeing. That's why I said, you know what? I might get kicked off of this. It should never came down to that Matt Ryan play. I might get kicked off that. So if I get kicked off for that play, I wish y'all well. I'll see y'all in the next game.
No, we ain't doing that, man. Ain't nobody kicking nobody off this motherfucker.
I'm just saying, like, look, y'all know how much I love the Falcons. Y'all know how much I love us fighting today, especially because I expect us to get blown out by Buffalo. And the fact we fought to the very end, I love that. But things happen, and it's unfortunate that it happened, but it's something to learn from this next offseason. And I say, people always talk about how Arthur Smith is a bad coach. I disagree, because he got 7 wins out this team. And just imagine if he has a roster of his players to play the game the way he wants to play it. We'll be contenders for years. So the fact of the matter is he got 7 wins off this roster that we got. That says a whole lot about his coaching.
Yes, sir.
I will say this. We went 4-12 last year. We went
We
4-12
overachieved.
last year with a way better roster than what we got this year, and we went 4-12. This year, our roster is not what we've used to, and
And they
yet
got 8 wins.
we're 7-9.
That's what I'm saying. Like, imagine if he had the roster full of his guys. Imagine if the fact that Terry and Arthur go out to get their guys. We will be, and a lot of people say that, he failed. Arthur Smith failed in his first year. This man got a roster from the last regiment. So imagine if he got his a roster full of guys. I think he'll do. I'm just saying, like, in a couple years, he'll be up for Coach of the Year. He will be.
And
He'll be up for Coach of the Year. He'll be up for Coach of the Year because I think that once they get their players in, that they want them to fit their scheme. They're gonna turn some heads.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I might sound a tad bit biased saying this, but based off what I've seen this year, like the Falcons could really be some definite contenders next year. If they could really do everything right, or at least if they could hit on 90% of their signings and drafts combined, man, this from what I've seen with this coaching staff, the sky's the limit for the Falcons. They could really do something.
You may be right.
Because if this man came into the team think he gonna have a team one way, literally your star player wanted out, okay, you let him ride. The other guy walked out, you let him ride, and you still was able to fight towards the end of the season. You still were able to you was in the playoff hunt all the way up until the second to last week of the season. Literally, a lot of folks had the Falcons not probably being eliminated by October.
This is why I said that a lot of people said that Arthur Smith should be fired. This man got a roster from the last regime that was not good, and he eked out 7 wins. So just imagine when he has a roster full of guys that could play for him. Just imagine that. This man got 7 wins.
Learned the playbook.
This man got 7 wins out of a squad that wasn't even his. 7. If it was a coach of the year for somebody that could dig a franchise out of their hole, he would definitely be the front runner.
Hey, think about this. All the people that was mad that we didn't get Justin Fields was saying this was a 4-win team without Justin Fields.
I'm gonna raise my hand because I said this was gonna be a 4-1 team. So yeah, I would definitely take my I would like my crow extra crispy with hot sauce.
Well, I ain't gonna give it to you now. Hey
man, look. Just DoorDash it to me, and I'll eat it. Good. I will eat it comfortably in my house. I would definitely eat it because I expect the Falcons to get 4 wins, and the fact they eked out 7 with this roster, with this coach, with a whole new regime, I would gladly eat that hot sauce. With that, I would gladly eat that crow.
Oh, remember, they also said it was a 4-win team when Julio and Calvin was still on the team too. So you got to remember that as well.
So my question to you guys is, I want to ask you this. Do you think Ridley will be on this team this upcoming season?
No. Jude, take that, Jude. Take it.
Yeah.
He'll really be here. To be honest, I would take him back with open arms because, like I said, this team needs as much talent as possible. Hey, as we've seen, as much as we've seen Josh Gordon, who can't stay off the weed, and every time he comes,
look, I'm just gonna say this: weed is legal in Arizona, and I use it, so I'm just gonna put that out there.
Hey, like we said, man, talent. Your leash is long when you're talented. Like I'm telling you right now, if we put Calvin Ridley on the market, teams are going to be willing to go out and take him, even with this situation, because he's talented.
So my question is did the Falcons sign to his 5th-year option or no?
Well,
so go ahead, K-Style.
Oh no, I'm about to say you was about to explain it.
I don't know. Because I heard that they didn't re-sign him to his 5th-year option, and I heard he did. So what's the deal? Did they sign him to his 5th-year option?
Go ahead, you tell him.
Yeah. He signed it. He already signed his 5th-year option. Like
Okay,
they already
okay.
said.
I didn't know. That's
Yeah.
why I was asking.
I think that was in like the off season of last year. But go ahead, K.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. But the problem is with him being in the non-injury thing, the Falcons are not entitled to that 5th-year to pay him that 5th-year option because he didn't
So they can cut him after this season.
No, the thing is, if they cut him, it's an $11 million dead cap. If they trade him, then that's no dead cap, and they'll save $11 million because it is a 5th-year option.
So to my guys, what should they do with Calvin Ridley? Should they keep him or trade him?
I would keep him. Like I said, I would keep him. But what I would do is I'm not giving him whatever he wants. Like he's not finna get no $100 million. Like
but he don't want. He's trying to. So if he's trying to get that Julio money, he's like, slow down. You ain't getting that Julio money.
Exactly. That's my thing. I'm not keeping him at all costs. Meaning like whatever he want, he gonna get it type situation. It's gonna be a contract where it's gonna be incentive based, and it's gonna be because he went out with this whole mental health thing. I don't know how contracts work in that because I'm not an agent, but I guarantee it's going to be some type of clauses in there. Whoever he signs with, they're going to put clauses in his contract to make sure he's held accountable, for his actions. But if I'm the Falcons, I'm accepting them back with open arms. I'm accepting them back because the thing is this. We don't know what's really going on, to be honest. Even though Arthur Smith is saying like he don't know, he doesn't have any updates with Calvin Ridley, do we really know what they told him after he said that he wanted to take the leave, a leave of absence? Do we really know if they said, don't worry about coming back for the rest of the season? Do we know that was Calvin Ridley's decision to sit out the remainder of the season? That was his decision. We don't know because all we got was the statement that he put out, but we don't know what the team said to him behind closed doors. So I kind of want to know that before we say whether I would re-sign him or not, because that also, to me, factors into what type of player are we really dealing with. Was that his decision not to come back, or was that the team saying, don't even worry about it because we're not going to do this. I'm playing one game. I'm going to sit out one game. You see what I'm saying? Because he came back, if you guys remember, initially for one game. I think it was against, I don't remember who it was against, but he came back
the Dolphins.
For one game against
the Dolphins. The Dolphins.
The Dolphins. He played, and then he was out, and that's when he initially dropped the statement. He didn't go to London. So I don't know what the team told him. Just saying we don't have any updates on Calvin doesn't mean they haven't talked to him. So don't take what Arthur Smith has said in these press conferences necessarily as a negative because we don't know. But personally, if it's me, I'm bringing Calvin Ridley back. I'm not just throwing him on the open market and trade him because trust me, he's going to be a hot commodity. We may not be able to get a first-round pick, but I can see us Lisa being able to get like a third-round pick for him. But I'm not going to put him out there. I'm going to just try to negotiate that contract. If he wants that big, Julio money, then yeah, trade him because we ain't giving him whatever he wants. He's not finna get top dollar like the Devontae Adams because of what happened. That's just plain and simple. I don't see nobody giving him that money, even the worst team in the league.
Hey, I agree with you. And I say it like that. I agree with you because it's like this. Yes, mental health is prevalent, but you're in a grown man's game, and you have to play to your potential. And the Falcons drafted Calvin Ridley because of his potential. If you don't play to your potential, then why do I have to pay you? That's my question. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm an advocate. I'm a big advocate of mental health. I suffer from PTSD. I suffer from PTSD. I suffer from anxiety. But at the same time, I know if I get hired for a job, I have to perform that job. And I think Calvin Ridley, take time away, get yourself together. That's cool. But when it's time for you to perform your job, if you're not performing your job, I'm not going to pay you.
And that's why I was talking about, Dre, where it's going to have to be some type of clause in this contract. Like if you don't play a certain number of games, or if you don't do this, it's just like what they did to Dante Fowler when this new regime came in. They basically changed his contract, took some of his guaranteed money and based it off of his performance. If you get this many sacks, you get a bonus. It'll be the same thing for Calvin Ridley. You get this many receptions, you get this many touchdowns, you get this many yards. Then, and what's crazy about it is it's almost sounding like what K-Styles did a couple months ago, talking about the Taysom Hill contract, where they got all of these different clauses on. He had to do certain things to gain, certain things in his contract. He got those different clauses where he has to basically perform to get, get his money.
Right. Because think about it. Look, everybody talks about it. But look at what Antonio Brown did just a few hours ago. I mean, that man had a free ride to the Super Bowl with Tom Brady, and he just completely said, "Fuck it."
All I'm saying is, I of course I'm a big advocate for mental health. I mean, because I suffer from certain things as well. But at the end of the day, I don't know the conversation, but for you to practice all week and to show up an hour before the game and say I can't go,
yeah, and you know what? And I don't have a problem with that, and I agree with that. But at the same time, we're all human. We're all unique. We all have our different vices. We all have our different whatever we go through. And I don't judge nobody here. I don't judge nobody at all because we're all human and we're all unique. So the first thing I saw with Antonio Brown, I laughed. I did because I was just like, typical Antonio Brown. But that dude needs help. He really needs help. And it's just the fact of the matter is that I don't care what sport you play, no matter how many millions you got. It's just the fact of the matter is that everybody's human. So I can't get mad at that because people are gonna do what they do regardless of how we feel about them. So I just hope he gets help because I don't want to get on Facebook and I'm scrolling down my Facebook timeline and they say Antonio Brown's dead. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, his career over with anyway. They already
it's shot. It's completely
he's
shot.
no longer above.
This is beyond football. I just want to make sure he gets help as a human being. That's all I'm saying. His football career is shot. Like I don't expect him to step foot on the NFL field ever again. I'm just looking at it as like he needs help as a human being, as a black man. That's all I'm saying.
Michael J. White said it best: enough of the clown.
Exactly. Facts. Yeah. My grandma makes some hot water cornbread until you sit your ass down. So I mean,
I'm speaking in the Dark Knight aspect. Enough of the clown.
Yeah, so I mean, I just hope he gets help. That's all I'm asking right now because I mean, it's already hard enough for us black folks out here. So I just hope he gets help. That's it. That's all I'm asking.
All right, Money Man, what you think on that?
I think it was. I don't even think it was selfish. I think it was. I don't even think it was mental. I think it was just where your attitude is your mental. I think his feelings got too involved. And they still won the game. That's the crazy thing about it. You already in the playoffs. Who cares if you'd have lost that game or not? You still in the playoffs regardless, brother. For you to do that, and the NFL gave you chances after chances after chances. They let you back in after the situation with that girl, with that lady or whatever. Then after that, you did a fraud COVID vaccine. God dang on, they let you back in with that. And then you come and pull this right here. It's time for you to go, bro, because you know how many receivers that didn't get drafted in the NFL this year, but wish they would have had your place, bro. And you playing with your position, you playing with your opportunity. I don't have no sympathy for that. A lot of people wish they was in your shoes right now, a lot of athletes, and you taking advantage of it.
All right, so how you feel about what do you feel about the question that was asked as far as Calvin Ridley? Do you think Calvin Ridley will be back next season?
I think he'll be back or whatever. But just like how you said, I wouldn't give him no more money. I wouldn't give him no more money. And if I do, just like I said, I think he'll be back. I just ain't gonna give him no more money. And because we gonna need him. I ain't gonna lie, we gonna need him. And at least we know for sure he's talented that he's talent that we can count on with skills, fundamentals, everything. He really don't have to be coached. We already know him. But at the end of the day, we're gonna need him next year. So I don't think they're gonna do nothing with him.
Okay.
Yeah,
Who?
I agree.
Ridley?
I agree.
Ridley?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think. I hope he comes back, but like I said before, mental health trumps football any day. That's just my opinion.
Right. Yeah,
But
because I only look at it from what they're gonna look at as the business side of things. Because, like you said, a lot of these guys that's under these 1-year deals, a lot of these guys are veteran guys that've been in this league for a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So that's gonna play a big part.
And the fact of the matter is, I think, I just want to see another black brother dead under unfortunate circumstances. That's my opinion.
Right. I feel you.
another thing is,
let
okay,
me say this real quick. Let me say this real quick. And I know how everybody feel about it for the most part. But at the same time, he's still a man.
Yeah,
And he
he's
got
still a
people that
man.
depend on him.
He's a man,
He's
but
still a
you
man.
know what? Honestly,
Oh, wait.
I just want
Trey, I
to
already know
say
where
this.
you going.
He's a man who needs help. That's all I'm saying. He's a man that needs help.
I got that.
I just want to put that out there. I'm gonna let you finish what you said. I just want to say that. Yeah,
I got you. But you still got to be a man at the end of the day. If you need help,
he does. He does. He has to.
Gotta make the right decisions. Okay, gotta make the right decisions. If you knew right ahead, if you knew all along that you needed help, you should have, instead of taking that captain's bad, instead of constantly going to camp knowing, all right, I'm not in the best mental shape. Don't go to camp like nothing is wrong, and then the game. I already know how you feel.
But Mike, you know how we argued about this. What we talk about? What's the one thing we talk about? Pride. We talked about this. We argued about this.
And that's why I said that. You gotta be a man.
Okay,
and at the end of the day,
I'm prideful.
I know where you're going.
I'm prideful. You prideful. You know
that's why you fight me right now. I know you better. You know
about it. I'm saying.
I know. I know. That's why you fight me right now.
I'm just making sure. We fuss about this the whole time. We fuss about the pride thing all the time.
Me and Dre we do not
see eye to eye on a lot of things, but the one thing
we never see eye to eye.
But the one thing I say about Mike, is that man is prideful. That man will stand on here and will die, and I will do the same thing. So I respect him because we some prideful motherfuckers on this shit. I'm just
You got, like I said, you gotta do the right thing ahead of time, and that's my problem. If you knew you had a problem, that's my only thing. You know you got a problem. It's not a secret that you had a problem, and then you wait to week 6 and say, "All right, guys, I got a problem." That's because you put the team. You not only put the team, but you put your teammates in a bad position where now he got it, because we all know damn well Russell Gage ain't no number one.
That's true. But
we know damn well. You know what I'm saying? So that's my only issue.
But I want to say this. And I'm gonna let you finish when I say this. But you know how we are about pride. You know we're not gonna say nothing until it gets bad. Because you know me. I was like, you was like, Dre, you good? I was like, I'm good. You asked me again, Dre, I'm good. You good? Nah, I'm good. I'm good. And then when I say nothing's good, and when I say nothing's good, I see a text like, bruh, shit ain't good. You know how we are. And you know how we are about men. You know how we are about men. K Styles, Julian, all y'all. Y'all know how we are about men. We are very prideful. We don't let shit slide.
yeah.
We try to fix shit before it gets that bad. And when it gets that bad, we be like, you know what? I finally need help.
Wow.
But that's when shit's fucked up. That's how we are. So
Yeah.
I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying here. It's just the fact of the matter is when us men, when we have a problem, we don't we let that shit slide because we know we gonna try to handle it. Mike knows because there's plenty of times Mike called me like, "Dre, you good? Yeah, I'm good." And then shit could be burning down in my background. I'd be like, "Shit's good. It's good. It's straight."
But at the same time, I think he deserves another chance. But just like I
Yeah.
said, you know, because
He don't deserve another chance. He gonna get another chance, but he don't
he'll get
deserve
Another
another.
chance. I think he'll get another
he'll
chance
get another
because
chance, but he gonna be hard to replace because Terry ain't gonna spend no money.
yeah, and I look at it like this. I think that the guy that I wanted to be the heir apparent to Matt Ryan is hurt. So I think the Falcons are going to chill on that, and they're going to build around the quarterback position. And I think next year, 2023 or 2024, we're going to look for the heir apparent for Matt Ryan.
No, listen. This right here. I've been watching this for a long time, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I think Matt Ryan possibly could be traded the off season. Possibly.
And you know what? Honestly, if he does get traded, I hope he gets traded to a contender.
And a person I would bring in that I've been watching for a while is
Hold on. You gotta stop right there. How he gonna get traded? Just tell me how.
My question, this is my thing, and I'm gonna let homeboy finish it. The only reason why I would want Matt Ryan to get traded is because I want him to go to contender. Now, if he goes to the scrub, hell no. But if he goes to a contender and we get some compensation back, I would love. I would pull the trigger. That's just my opinion.
I'm talking about how. I'm talking about how. How are you gonna trade him? Because you gotta take
Mike.
We gotta take in consideration. We gotta take in consideration that the other team has to take on his contract.
And I understand, and I get that, but Mike, you know me, you know we talked a lot. We see stranger things in football.
Yeah.
Not with $40 million.
Yes, and $40
million. No, excuse me. That was $62 million at the on
bro,
the line. That's different.
John Gruden got traded to the Oakland Raiders for a hefty sum, and I'm sure it was
but not no 60 million, not 50 million worth though.
It was worth more than $40 million. It was worth more than 40. Now, before you say anything, Mike, because I know you about to fire off. Do I want Matt Ryan traded?
No, I just asked a question.
Hold up. Do I want Matt Ryan traded? No. But do I want him to be traded for the right price? Absolutely. Yes.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about. The right price.
Then, bro. So don't need for you to get all hostile and stuff. Okay.
I'm asking. Everybody calling the hell down right now.
Because I'm just saying what somebody gonna do with the $50 million. That's all I ask.
Because I'm coming to
Ain't
Atlanta.
Nobody answering questions.
All I know is I'm saying I'm coming to Atlanta in a few months. I don't want you to whoop my ass when I step down in Atlanta. That's all I'm saying.
I just said who.
No,
all I said is who gonna pick up the $50 million. That's all I want to know.
This all I'm saying. All I'm saying is just like with the Julio trade, I didn't expect Julio to get traded unless he has a right deal, and it was the right deal with Julio. I'm saying the same thing with Matt Ryan. If a team comes to us and say, "Hey, we'll trade Matt Ryan for this amount," if it's the right amount,
I gotta be Jacksonville. That's Jacksonville.
According to my son, he would rather have Trevor Lawrence over Matt Ryan. So,
I mean, I would too at this point. He's a younger quarterback.
You know another potential quarterback. Y'all might laugh at me when I say this. But this is a great potential quarterback, PJ Walker, that backup quarterback from Carolina.
Oh hell no!
Man, shit, I don't know
You
what.
tripping.
You
You
off the
smoking that
drugs,
good
bro.
shit now. PJ Walker.
You smoking that good shit.
No, no. The only way we we get Matt Ryan if we have a generational quarterback that will set this franchise
Man,
back.
give me Nick Foles. That man said pick.
Nah, you know what? Honestly, real talk. I would rather get Matt Corral for Ole Miss. I'd rather get him.
I would too.
I would get him.
But like I said, the only reason why I say PJ Walker, because have you really seen PJ Walker throw the football? I think
wait, hold on. K Styles. Wait a minute, K Styles. Is PJ Walker from Georgia Tech?
No.
Okay, I was gonna make sure. But
even if he was from Georgia Tech, but if he can't throw the ball, he just can't throw the ball. I ain't no homer.
And that backup.
The only way, if we get Matt Corral to our team, that's the only way I would trade Matt Ryan. We get Matt Corral.
And he might have a torn ACL, so he might not even be.
Exactly. So I mean, I'm not. Look. I said it before. Matt Ryan is the most consistent quarterback that the Falcons had. But unless we're gonna get a generational talent at quarterback, nah, he good. He good where he at.
Somebody gotta explain that $50 million to me. That's all I'm saying. All I said was somebody explain the $50 million.
Hey, look. I'll explain it to you. Because when Tampa Bay got John Gruden the first time, they paid a lot of money. And then when John Gruden went back to broadcasting, the Raiders paid money. So I'm pretty sure there's about $50 million they paid him for that.
That don't go on the salary cap, though. That ain't salary cap.
It's not salary. It's just the fact. I'm just proving to you the fact that if a person wants a player or a coach, they're going to pay. They're going to pay money. It doesn't matter. They're going to pay money.
Yeah, the team got to play, but again, that still got to benefit
us.
Just,
you know what? Mike, you said player. You remember the Champ Bailey, Clinton Portis trade? It was about 50 million involved in that trade. Because the Redskins gave up a shutdown corner, and the Broncos gave up a 1,000-yard rusher. That was about $50 million involved in that.
Not $50 million in dead cap though.
That was a $50 million trade. We're talking about dead
cap. All I'm saying is this: if your team is desperate enough to make a play, there is no team desperate enough to win games. That's all I'm saying. Do I want Matt Ryan to be traded? That's all I'm saying is do I want Matt Ryan to be traded? No.
Dude,
it can happen.
It can happen, but
it can happen.
Look, Dre, what we're saying here, and what he's trying to say too is like it can happen.
It can happen.
But the problem is when you're looking at the dead cap hit, if you get rid of him, we already got $28 million in salary cap next year. If you trade or get rid of that salary cap is gone automatically.
And I agree. All I'm saying is the fact of the matter is there's a team desperate enough to trade. I don't want Matt Ryan to go. For the record, I don't want Matt Ryan to leave.
You still talking about other teams. You talking about other teams. The Falcons ain't other teams. They the one who got Matt Ryan. If they get rid of him, they don't benefit. That's what we say.
And that's
the
why
other team is going to benefit.
And that's why I'm saying this. Look at my hand. This is why I don't want Matt Ryan to be traded. I'm raising my hand here. I don't want to be traded. But all I'm saying is that I just seen stranger things happen in the NFL. That's all I'm saying. But I don't want Matt. Look at my hand. It's pink. I don't want Matt Ryan to be traded.
Right. Hey, look, we ain't even talking about Matt Ryan. We just talking about the money and trying to build this team. Like you say, if the team
that has never happened.
Honestly, look, that's all I'm saying. We're in the hole because of Dimitrov. We're in the hole because of him.
Right.
we're in a hole.
Yeah, we're gonna be.
It's gonna.
We're gonna earth crust if we keep fucking around trying to trade Matt Ryan. That's what the hell we're gonna be
No,
at next time.
you know what? Honestly, and I'll say this: it doesn't start with that. Matt Ryan being traded is not going to solve our problems. We're gonna have to build from the bottom and work our way up. We're gonna have to build from the bottom and work our way up. So we already traded Julio. That's what? How much dead cap is it when us trading Julio?
I think it's gonna be 15 for next year.
That's 15, right? So how much money do the Falcons got in cap space?
It'll be 20. It'll be 28 going on. It's
that,
added plus that. It's gonna be added plus that.
All right. So how much money we got to actually go out and say, hey, we need you to come to the Falcons? How many active players to come do that?
You got 25 roster spots to fill with 20.
So that's all I'm saying. Like I said, look, I talk shit about Matt Ryan, but guess what? Trade Matt Ryan, that's not the problem.
Oh, no,
I mean, I was bullshitting and laughing and stuff with y'all, but I was with y'all. Like, I mean, it's gonna take us about what 2-3 years for us to get this roster right.
I mean, I wouldn't. Let's say at the most maybe 2.
2.
But at the most I'd say maybe 2. Like I said, we've seen quick turnover. We've seen quick turnover, like you said about the John Gruden trade and how anything can happen. We've seen quick turnarounds too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, but you know, the Raiders, they sucked all the time, so they always had salary cap. The Falcons were always contenders. So I mean, it's just like, you know.
Oh look.
And don't get me wrong. Like I said, don't get me wrong. I mean, I was just like, I want my Falcons to do good, but it's just like, we got to dig this hole. It's a huge hole to dig out. You know what I'm saying?
Right. All right. So outside of that talk, was there any other point in this game that kind of any aspect of this game that y'all want to talk about that we haven't talked about yet?
Shout out to Kyle Pitts. Shout out to Kyle Pitts.
I got one for you. That when you're looking at Cordarrelle Patterson, I see him kind of I won't say breaking down, but you see he's not as explosive that he was early in the season, and K-Style and K-Style, you go in there and Jew. With that being the case, we know that at this point you don't throw a bunch of money at Cordarrelle Patterson. He's 30 years old. He's not a running back, and you saw that today even in the pass protection, and he said he's not comfortable with pass protection. Do you spend more than $20 million on him?
No.
I say yes.
No.
I say yes. That is B though.
Only reason why I say like what they said it in the broadcast too. Like, yes, he's a guy that's played almost 270 snaps at running back. But there was one thing they also said when they said they interviewed him is that he's still learning the position. Now, remember when we used Patterson before, it was because nobody else could step up. So they had no choice but to use Patterson. Like I said, Patterson has been good. But what Mike's saying is soon as breaking down. I wouldn't even say it's more so breaking down. It's more so. You have to remember he is a wide receiver. Playing significant time at running back. So he's not used to the hits at the running back position. So that's why you're seeing him slowing down now. Would I sign him over 20 minutes? No. Like you said, you have to think about it that way too, because you have to think he is 30. They're going to want to get younger. And like I said, you don't have a lot of money to really be throwing out like that. You have to make some very strategic and very precise type of signings because you don't want to get caught up in paying this guy $30-something million. And like you say, he's just learning the position. This year he's learning the position. Like beforehand, he was playing it sparingly because they needed him as a mismatch out there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why he was successful at the beginning of the season. That's why he was Cordarrelle Patterson. That's why he was getting all them touchdowns and stuff. Because nobody else was doing it. But once that last 100-yard game the Falcons had, you started seeing them hits started taking a toll. Because there's a big difference between getting hit by corners and getting hit by defensive linemen and linebackers.
Mm-hmm. That's why I asked you what you got.
When it comes to Patterson, I think he'll be back next year, but I don't think it's going to even cost $20 million to keep him. To be real with you, Cordarrelle Patterson, he knows what he is. He knows he's a veteran in this league. And I think another thing that, and this is what Mike has said, I think on a heavy hitter show when we were talking about Matt Ryan leaving, a player has a decision as well. Yeah, he has an agent, but even if another team threw more money at him than we're willing to offer him, Cordarrelle Patterson already has stated that he's from South Carolina. His family comes down to all the home games because South Carolina and Georgia are right there together where they can drive down. It's a quick trip if he wants to go home at times to visit his family. So I think that it's not going to take a large contract to keep Cordarrelle Patterson happy to stay in Atlanta because, for one, he says he loves playing for the team. For two, the way that he's being used. Dave Ragone and him have a great relationship, and Arthur Smith has a great relationship with him. So if it's about the money, we're going to find out real quick in the offseason if he decides to go with the money. But I really don't think it's about the money at this point. I think it's for him, it's finding a good fit, especially with veteran guys. We've seen guys, we offered, I believe they said it was Robert Quinn. He was a guy that he could either sign with us or he could sign with the Bears. He decided to sign with the Bears because they have a better defense and he felt like he would fit their scheme better. We tried to go out and sign him. It's the same thing with Cordarrelle Patterson. Will he fit in the scheme of whatever other team wants him? That's going to be a big decision as well for him. Is he wants to go, if he does leave, he's going to have to go to a team that runs a similar scheme than what we run, what Arthur Smith and Dave Ragone runs. Because to be honest, we know how to use him, basically, is what I'm stating. Like, the coaches that are here knows how to use him best. So I really don't see Cordarrelle Patterson kind of having that ego where he's going to want the biggest contract. I really feel like him being near home is important at this part of his career. And then I also think that it's going to come down to him wanting to actually play, because he can go to another team and possibly get more money, but are they going to be able to use him in that same capacity that we're using him in? Another thing I think we need to take into account as well, and K Styles just said this as well, is if we do get a guy like Calvin Ridley back, you get Kyle Pitts coming back for his second season, and then you go out and say you draft another great wide receiver like in the draft in the first, second, third round, you will be able to spread the ball around a little bit more. So when it comes to this part of the season, Cordarrelle Patterson hasn't taken on all of those hits and things of that nature that he's taken on this year. This year, he had to take on a huge role because we really don't have the talent like that. But next year, if you get Ridley back and then you bring in another guy, then you got Kyle Pitts still here, and then you bring in, say, draft another running back, he'll be a part of like a three-headed monster in the backfield where he won't have to take on as big of a load as he had to take on this year. So he'll be able to, it won't look like he's slowing down, because I agree with what Mike is saying. He has kind of slowed down, and he's still playing with quickness, but he doesn't look as fresh as he looked early in the season when he was scoring all of those touchdowns. And I think that's mainly because teams are keying in on him, and he's taking on a ton of hits, and we're basically forcing the ball to him a lot. Where if you have your weapons out here like a Calvin Ridley, if you're able to go out and get another star wide receiver in the draft, then you can spread the ball out more like Matt Ryan likes to do. And you're not relying so much on Cordarrelle Patterson touching the ball 20 times a game. You can spread that out, and he's not the focal point of the offense like he's the focal point right now. and that'll just make him look even better. He probably won't have as many touchdowns, but he'll be fresher towards the end of the season, heading into the playoffs and things of that nature. So I think Cordarrelle Patterson comes back because he likes to be in Atlanta. So that's all that matters. If he wants to be here, I don't think he's going to demand 20 million, 30 million. He knows he's 30, and he knows, to be honest, I don't think the market's going to be out there for him, for any other team to pay him that type of money either. I don't see any other team, backing up the Brinks truck for a veteran type player like Cordarrelle Patterson. No disrespect. He's a great player, but I think he's a great player in this scheme. We've seen Cordarrelle Patterson with the Bears, with the Vikings. He wasn't this guy that we're seeing now because he didn't fit those schemes that he was in prior to coming to Atlanta. So I think he'll want to stay in Atlanta because we know how to use him, and he just fits this scheme perfect.
And end this season off the right way.
Yeah.
His career.
Yeah.
Like I said, the reason why I asked that question is because when you look at, he's 30 years old. All right, we gotta keep that in perspective. This guy played 9 years, and he's been taking a lot of hits for 9 years. Okay, 9 years. That's 9 years worth of hits. He's not Calvin Ridley. What Calvin Ridley still has, even at 27, 28, 27. He still hasn't had a lot of hits. Calvin Ridley still hasn't had a lot of hits. So, even with the possible confusion as far as if he wants to be here or the Falcons want, I don't know. I'm not against, because he does have that talent. You're not going to find. I know people up here say, "Oh, you can find a Calvin Ridley in the draft." No, hell, you can't. You can't find another Calvin Ridley in the draft. Let's stop. Don't kid ourselves. Calvin Ridley is a special talent. So I think the Falcons are more than likely to work things out if he wants to be here. And that's the case. They're going to work it out, but he has to want to be here. If he doesn't want to be here, the Falcons are going to end up. But like I said, at this point, I think they're going to try to trade down, and they're going to try their best to get a receiver, because today, it's been like this all year. I think the worst game for the Falcons was against the Patriots. It was embarrassing to see them guys running to each other. They couldn't do anything. They were getting pressed. They couldn't do anything. They couldn't catch. It was just embarrassing. But you have to upgrade that wide receiver position, and keeping the Calvin Ridley is going to do that. And that way you can add something to the defense. Get I hate to say this, but Fowler's going to be out here anyway, just based on his contract. I think he and the Falcons kind of I forget. It's a strange way, but he's not going to cost as much on the salary cap anyway. So they're going to get an edge guy. If you want to get an edge guy early or mid round in the draft, you can do so. And keep Calvin Ridley, and Calvin Ridley will be an upgrade to the receiving core, along with a more mature and wide receiver / tight end, or tight end / wide receiver in Pitts. He's gonna understand. And no, I don't want Michael Gallup. I don't want anybody use wide receiver. Excuse me, but I don't want anybody use wide receiver. I don't want Devontae Adams. I don't want none of those, because those guys are most of the time, those guys end up being busts. How many times Falcons got to bargain for other people's great players, and then you sign these contracts? You sign these contracts, and they end up being Peerless Price. It's like we don't want to. I'm tired of that. I don't want another Peerless Price. I don't want another Ray Edwards. I don't want anybody else trash. I don't want them. But if they wanted Devontae Adams, they would keep Devontae Adams. If they wanted those guys, they would keep them. So it's something wrong with these guys in some way. So look, at the end of the day, I would much rather keep Calvin Ridley than go out and get a Devontae Adams. And that's just my.
I just want to laugh because Michael brought up Peerless Price, and I bust out laughing when he said that.
Bro, I don't want
That's
nobody else. I
motherfucker.
don't want nobody else number one receiver, bro.
Oh
That
Lord, hold on.
that
Somebody said
motherfucker.
another
Look,
name.
I just want to say this. That motherfucker was a squirrel.
Do you see the name on the screen too? You remember? Yeah. We gotta be precise with this one. We can't just be throwing money out here like you at Magic City somewhere. Nah, ain't no way.
That boy, Mike brought up Pennis Price. That motherfucker was a screw up. I thought because he was with Aaron Bowles, I thought he was a beast. He came to Atlanta and he was complete trash. Complete trash.
Yeah, he fooled me. He fooled me too. So he fooled a lot of people.
That boy, I can't even say that about that. I'm sitting here busting out laughing on that one.
Hell, he was a lot better than Ashley Lee. I'll tell you that much.
Hey man,
Oh my God!
look. What I'm gonna say, I met Ashley Lee, and he was ready to play, and I don't know what it was. He got to Atlanta, and he just stopped playing. So, yeah, he trash too.
Because in Denver, all they told him was run 9 routes. They basically made him like Randy Moss.
Trying to make him like Randy Moss, and he ain't had the Randy Moss skills.
No. He went to the University of Hawaii. Where do you think they gonna learn some skills at?
So, hey, look.
Outside of Keenan 40, he's the greatest thing out of the University of Hawaii ever. I'm just saying that. But
hey, look. I got a couple single mothers that I know in Hawaii, and they sons about to play. So when they start playing good, I'm gonna have to quit. If they play good, I'm gonna quit.
Right. But hold on,
Alex, what you got?
What you got, Alex?
Oh man. Well, I knew that coming into this game that it was gonna be a little bit of a long shot because I had the game plan of we were gonna play a lot of man and do a lot of stunts up front, which is what we did. But man, Darren Hall and Kendall Sheffield just can't like secure routes, which is a really crucial part in man coverage, which is how IO played good this year, how AJ Terrell played good, how Fabian Moreau started turning it up a little bit at the later part of the season. You got to get your hands on players early when you're playing press man. You can't do that like late in a route, which is why people struggle in off coverage. You can just scheme that open. And Darren Hall is like, for some reason, it's not clicking. This man's played a few games, but it's just not clicking. Dude is not getting his hand. He'll get one hand on, and they'll like a wide receiver just be like brush that hand off, and then boom, open. And I'm like, I don't know what they're doing in that DB room, but that needs to be fixed over the offseason. So I don't know. I just think that like they just need to watch back the film and place more emphasis on the things that they're lacking at.
I'm glad you kind of brought that up because there was another thing I did see in this game too that I did kind of want to talk about. Kendall Sheffield, because I know we talked about that play, the what if it was a catch play that Buffalo had with the receiver. I noticed quite a few times in this game that Kendall Sheffield was turning around the wrong way on every comeback route that they was running.
It's more than likely because he didn't get his hands on. Because when you don't get your hands on a receiver, right, especially with bad placement, you don't like you're guessing at this point. You're guessing because now you have to like read their hips and try to like break down as they're breaking down. And receivers in this league are too good for you to not have your hands on them. So like you have to have good hand placement, and you need to also be patient. Now, what I will say about Kendall Sheffield is that Kendall Sheffield is really patient, and I think he also has some moments in the run game. So I don't think he's a bad player. I just think he has things that he needs to work on, and I personally just wouldn't give him that much of an extension. So like if he turned it up next year, like maybe I'd give him like a cheap deal, but like I don't know how I feel about keeping dudes that have issues with technique. You gotta kind of like. You gotta learn. You gotta learn from what's going on in tape. So,
okay. What? All right, Drew. What you think about that? Like, what? So, what else? What else did you see that as far as Kendall Sheffield? How do you think Kendall Sheffield did in this game? Because we knew Fabian Monroe was out with the ribs. So, and I know on the 6-man convo, I pretty much was talking about perseverance as with Fabian Monroe out, who's going to be the guy to step up on that other side. So, how do you feel about Kendall Sheffield's performance today?
I'm kind of in between. I feel like he played okay. I just think that Kendall Sheffield, he's a guy good for depth. Like to me, he didn't play terrible in this game. I think he's a good better on special teams. Like I like him as a gunner because of his speed. If you guys watch the way he runs down the field and as a gunner, I think that's where he's best suited. But I think he's solid at the cornerback position. I don't think he's nothing special. One thing I love about corners is you have to have speed, and that's something that Kendall Sheffield has. Is he has the speed. He's a guy who can play the nickel and can play outside. So I think you keep him around because I think he's still under his rookie deal, if I'm not mistaken. So I would keep him around just for depth purposes and because he's been in the scheme. I think a lot of people don't realize all of these players that played this year, these rookies, the most important thing that I'm taking from this year, because now that we're not making the playoffs, is these young guys got the experience. Jalen Mayfield got to go through the battles. Today, Kendall Sheffield got to go through the battles. All these young guys, the Darren Halls, the Richie Grants, they're going to be better next year for going through this season and actually playing. The Tyquan Grahams, the Avery Williams, and every single player that I've seen for the rookies. I don't know for you guys, Mike and K-Styles. For me, everybody that I've seen playing for the most part that are rookies that have got significant time has gotten better through this season. Every single player. Avery Williams, early in the season, to me, I was like, man, we need to get him out of the punt return because it looked like he was scared to catch the ball. It looks like he was scared to actually try to do something.
Mm-hmm.
But the last couple games, I've noticed that he's catching the ball now. He's did a couple returns and has a nice couple nice returns. And not really in this game, but in the previous game and against the 49ers, he had some big returns. And then he had a key forced fumble today. So I feel like this coaching staff has did a great job with these young players. They're doing a good job of developing players because that's what's really going to be key to this Falcons team next year and going forward in this regime that we did with Dan Quinn in the last regime. They really didn't do a good job of developing everybody. Like we still don't know what Deidre Sanat was. We still don't know what John Kaminsky. He played a little bit this year, but we still really don't know what he is. So with Kendall Sheffield, I think he's a solid corner. I don't think he's bad. I haven't seen enough for him this year, though, playing like on the outside. So to me, that's a negative because Dean Pease seems like a coach that gives you a fair shot at actually playing. And I didn't really see a lot of Kendall Sheffield this year. If you guys noticed, it's like every time, somebody would go down, Richie Grant and Darren Hall were like the first corners that they pulled up. Even Avery Williams got in over Sheffield, which I really think with Sheffield has been the injuries that really has kind of killed it for him. Is he's been injured a whole lot with those hamstring injuries. He's been in and out of the lineup so much that at this point he's been here. We've had him for 2 or 3 years. I don't even know what year he's in. I think he's in his 3rd year, or is this his 2nd year? Sheffield.
3rd year, I believe.
This is 3rd year. Yeah, I haven't seen a lot out of him, so I really don't know what he is yet. But what I'll say is, I don't want to write him off because, like I said, Isaiah Oliver was a guy that everybody had wrote off, and when he actually started getting significant playing time in the right scheme, he basically showed that he was talented. So I think Kendall Sheffield has all of the tools. I just think that I need to see more out of him, but I would keep him as a depth piece, especially now that because COVID and all this stuff, we had to pull guys up from the practice squad. So I'd rather have Kendall Sheffield than just bringing somebody in off the street.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Familiarity for me, it always trumps getting someone off the street, even in free agency, is as good as a quote unquote Devontae Adams and those types of those caliber guys. Because at the end of the day, it's all about chemistry. And one thing that Sheffield can provide is that speed. And like I said, once he gets his guys, he's going to be able to hide Kendall Sheffield's deficiencies and weaknesses as it goes on because he's going to have more defensive linemen. We're going to get more edge rushers. And today we kind of saw the potential that this defense has with Mike Walker, Dion, and Fourier together. I really like what I see. I know a lot of people like look. I say this all the time. We got to start with these expectations with all these players. Just because Debo was an All-Pro doesn't mean he was always going to be an All-Pro or he's always going to play at that level. We see quarterbacks. We literally had Tom Brady didn't score a single point, but nobody say, "All right, we got to get rid of Tom Brady now." All right, so these expectations, we got to give these guys a break. Sometimes linebackers have bad seasons. It's just like you go back and look at Ray Lewis. Like his last few years in the league, he wasn't that great. He had high tackle numbers, but he wasn't that great. So it's like, gotta stop with these unrealistic expectations for players. Like we expect Debo to always get these picks. We expect Debo to always make every tackle. He and Fourier are like top at least. I think they're about 5. I know Fourier is top as far as his tackles are concerned, and Debo not far behind him. So these guys are doing a great job of tackling. It's just when you miss tackles in the worst possible ways, it always looks much worse than what it actually is. So I just gotta get it's like the Jake Matthews. Nobody hear nothing about Jake Matthews until you get a damn penalty. Like, oh, God damn it, Jake, here you go, holding at the wrong time. So we got to get these guys a break. Debo is still one of the best linebackers in the league. We got Bobby Wagner, who's about like he don't even want to play in Seattle no more. So, like I said, man, it's not as bad as people think. The Falcons team has made a lot of good plays this year that have made improvements from being damn near. It was damn near last in everything last year in defense. Everything that last in everything. So let's just give these guys a break. Stop asking for perfection, bro.
All right. Go ahead, Money Man. What you think on Kendall Sheffield's performance today? You still there?
I don't have too much to say because you ain't heard his name all season.
You don't know what to even expect from him. I got you.
I just don't know.
Really know. Not a lot. It's like I said, not a lot of film to make adjustments. So like you said, I will bring him back just on that. You don't really have a lot on him under a Dean Pease. So it's like he could be something that Dean Pease wants to experiment with because we know he covets speed overall. He said that numerous times with the Falcons linebackers because he loves them because they fast. He loves Grady because he's fast. He loves Debo. He loves Fourier, and he loves Mike Walker because they got speed. So we know that he covers speed. So he can do
and then
anything.
Another thing, his injuries took effect and then took a lot of toll on him. And then on top of his injuries, you played out in the cold today.
Yeah, you're right. Right. That's a great point.
So when
I
you
don't think
dealt
people
with a
know
lot
what
of
it's like
injuries
playing
or surgeries or whatever, what's the worst thing the one thing you want to stay away from is the cold weather.
You're right about
we
that.
saw that with Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts strained his hamstring because of the cold weather.
Yeah, I saw him. I saw Kyle Pitts limping on that. The one route he ran after he got off the sideline. I said, "Nope, bro, sit your head down. Don't want to tear that off the bone." All right, Dre. Dre, you still there?
Well, I think he getting ready for something, but
Okay.
we can go to
All right.
the next.
I'm gonna say one thing. There's a guy who we all saw today after Kyle Pitts went down, and I actually took note of him in preseason, and I was like, oh, okay, this dude deserves to be on the team, and that guy is Parker Hesse. That guy can block. That guy can run some routes, even though he doesn't have amazing speed. He gets the job done, and I like that. I feel like he can play fullback, tight end, maybe not wide receiver, but I think that that's something that you can work with. Like if you in the draft we get maybe a wide receiver or something like that, you start adding pieces around. uh our run game is already good, which by the way, Arthur Smith's game plan for this game, because when I was doing my scouting, I had no idea what we were going to do. I had no idea, and typically I have an idea. I had no idea what we were going to do against this defense. Arthur Smith really followed a theme of doing screens during two high, maybe one high if the alignment was right, but mainly ran the ball against two high safeties, which I thought was amazing because they would swap like each down with two high, one high, two high, one high, two high, one high. So it would be like they run the ball on two high, against single high safeties. They would do play action with Kyle Pitts, or they would throw the ball to Russell Gage, getting one-on-ones. And I was like, this is stuff that you see King what's his name? Dude from Carolina, or no, from the Cardinals in the first 8 weeks. He would basically go off of down to down to down and maybe do some creative screens based off of just single high coverages, which I thought was amazing. He was literally adjusting on the fly, and I thought he maximized what he could in the first half. And the second half is a little bit iffy, but in the first half, I thought
Nothing
his play
different
calling
from
was
what he
amazing.
did. It's nothing different from what he did in Tennessee. He was so creative, and the misconception what a lot of people have with Arthur Smith is that he's just a three tight end guy. There was literally several games where he stayed in three tight end sets, but for the most part, it was a lot of games where Ryan Tannehill was in the shotgun and he was just running a lot of spread stuff. So this guy is more creative than what a lot of people give him credit for. Is look I've seen him I've seen him run. I've seen him put Jonnu Smith, I believe, is at fullback or it was at running back, and he ended up, using them things. So this dude is creative. We just got to give him time to get his players in. I don't know how many times we're gonna say that, but get his players in.
Just going back real quick from what Alex was talking about with Parker Hesse, that's kind of what I was saying with Kendall Sheffield is Parker Hesse was in Tennessee with Arthur Smith. That's why he brought him over as that depth piece. So it was like seamless to put him in the game plan because he already knows Arthur Smith's scheme. So it was easy to just plug and play him because he's been in this system for years. So it's not something like you bringing somebody off the street that got to pretty much learn all the new terminology. Parker Hesse was been with Arthur Smith in Tennessee for a couple seasons. So putting him in, because Hayden Hurst wasn't able to play, I don't believe, in this game, it was seamless just to drop him into that position because he's played it before. So it pretty much was not hard for him to pick up right where basically Hayden Hurst kind of left off. He's not Hayden Hurst, but he could do some of the similar things, that Hayden Hurst can do as far as catching the ball, as far as being physical and blocking. So that's why I talk about depth. Having depth is key, especially in the NFL, because we know in football, the game of football, at any point, an injury can happen. Anybody could go down, and especially, like I said, now because of the pandemic and because of all of these COVID protocols, you have to have, a number of guys as far as depth pieces that can come in and that can play those roles.
Definitely.
I mean,
Dre.
The only thing I'm gonna say is that it's the only way we can go is up right now. This is it. I didn't expect the Falcons to be in a position to compete for a playoff spot with this roster, but I want to say this. I'm gonna need to give you all these non-Falcon fans or even these Falcon fans that said that Arthur Smith needs to be fired. I'm gonna need to give him a break. This man took a pretty crappy roster and eked out 7 wins. He eked out 7 wins and was fighting for a playoff spot. Like, I'm gonna need y'all to chill, because when we get the players that we need to get with this regime we got, like I don't understand why y'all not mad at the last regime with Thomas Dimitrov with the same energy. It's the same energy y'all give Arthur Smith and Terry Fontenot.
He was so devastated on that sideline when he knew he wasn't going. That's what I love most. When I looked on that sideline, he was pissed that he was like, "Damn, we really
the man wanted. Look, he's a man like us. You know how we are about men. You know how us men are. we don't fail. We don't want to fail. We never want to fail. We don't want to fail. But consider the fact that he had this roster, this much turmoil, with the whole story about what happened after Super Bowl 51. Mike, we talked about it on Super Bowl 51, the whole scenario that happened after the fact. That really pissed me off. And consider the fact that he got 7 wins out of this team. I mean, we bitched about this season, but this man got 7 wins out of this roster. Just imagine if he has a fully loaded roster with his players. Imagine what he would do. So I'm gonna need the negative Falcon players to chill. We're gonna get this team right. I said it last week and a couple weeks ago. The only way we can go is up right now. That's all we can do is go up right now, because I mean, don't get me wrong. I may be the only one that said this, but I didn't expect the Falcons to be 7 wins and hunt for a playoff. I expected this to be 4 wins and looking for a first-round draft pick. I did. I expected us to be a first-round draft pick team with 4 wins. So the fact that we got 7 wins with this roster, that attributes a lot to what Arthur Smith and his coaching staff has done this season. So the only thing I can say right now is only up from here, and I'm excited for what they're going to do. I'm sure that Terry's going to do right by this team. He's going to get the players we need to compete. And I said 2 years that this Falcons franchise is going to compete for a Super Bowl. I'm going to stand by that. Now, if they go 1 year in, cool. But I said 2 or 3 years, this Falcons franchise will contend for a Super Bowl. Because the parity in the NFL is quick. So all you need is a couple good draft classes and a couple two or three free agents, and your team's right back in it. So I expect this with the Falcons franchise. I think that they're gonna compete like they have been. They're gonna contend, and they're gonna win. Go ahead, Mike. I know you want to say something. Go ahead, Mike.
Let me say this real quick. All you motherfuckers who said Dallas gonna win the Super Bowl, they getting their ass smacked by Arizona right now. So, see, look, you gotta be patient. Wait.
Hey, look, the Chiefs
lost. Special someone. I know a special someone. We know, Drake. She is not happy right now.
Hey, look, the Chiefs lost and the Bucks lost. So, any given Sunday, right? Any given Sunday, right? Any given Sunday. The Bucks lost. They lost to the Jets.
The Bucks came back and won.
Oh, they did?
Oh,
okay.
They won.
They came back and won. Okay, but the Bengals beat the Chiefs. So any given Sunday.
And that's props to the Bengals. The Chiefs are a tough team to beat. They really are with them.
Yeah, it just shows you that the game of we talked about college football, and I'm gonna let Mike finish his up. We always talk about the game of football. Football is a very unpredictable sport. as much as people talk about Alabama and Georgia playing in the national championship, they had formidable opponents with Cincinnati and Michigan. It's just the fact that Alabama and Georgia's teams was better. They were way better. And you look at the playoff picture now, and I want to ask you guys this question, and just take off the Falcons visors for a minute. What team you think could be? What team you look at and be like, you know what? That's the team That's the team I picked that's going to win the Super Bowl. Because I don't see no one. I don't see nobody win the Super Bowl. I don't see no team be like, you know what? They're going to win the Super Bowl. Because each team can beat any given day.
I don't have any predictions.
I know it's just the game of football. It's just the fact that everybody talks about X's and O's, but we talk about athletes. You got athletes on your team, and you get hired the right minute, you're going to win. But I don't believe that. That's why as much as I love, me and Mike talk about basketball, we talk about March Madness, but the game of football is so unpredictable at this point. Nobody knows who's going to win at this point, especially in professional football.
Lord have mercy.
Exactly. That's what I said. I wish I would took bets on these folks because I'll be a rich man right now. They could pay the mortgage on my house right now.
Lord, yeah. My bad. I just saw the final score from the Patriots Jaguars game.
Oh yeah.
Hey, look! Don't say that out loud. My son's right here. He's the Jaguars fan. Don't say that out loud.
The only reason I'm saying that, I know, no, look,
serious?
No, the only reason why I'm saying that because it was a fancy football thing because I put Ramondre Stevens at the very last minute and he put out some major numbers for me, so that's why I like damn. But
all I'm saying is that right now at this point, I don't see no strong team in the NFL be like, you know, I'm gonna put money on him. I'm gonna put money on them to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't see no team like that. I don't see no team like that because anybody can get beat any given day. Anybody can get beat any given day.
What was the score?
The score of what?
The Patriots game. I hear everybody talking.
I know it's 35. I know it's 35-3 when I left.
No,
It
the
was
final
53.
score was 50-10.
Oh Jesus! hey, can't stop. Just know my son gave you a look, so I'm gonna screenshot that for you.
I know he's giving me a look, but for football, for fantasy football cases, I have to thank Ramondre Stevens and the fact that I didn't start the Jacksonville defense.
All I'm saying is, if you got Jamar, all I'm saying is, if you got Jamar Chase on your team, congratulations, you got Jamar Chase on your team.
You eating?
You won. If you got Jamar Chase on your team or Joe Burrow on your team, congratulations.
Yeah, the day was crazy.
Exactly.
That man balled out, man. Hey, look, they were playing ball like it was 2019 LSU out there. The way they was playing ball.
Right.
So,
oh boy. I mean, yeah, like I said, and also, like I said, congratulations to Kyle Pitts, first rookie tight end with 1,000 yards in 60.
Oh wait, but you know what? You know what? He got one more game to break the all-time rookie record for a tight end today next week, and I hope he breaks it against the Aints. So yes, break it against the Aints.
That'll be so fitting.
Break it against the Aints. So. You know what, and I said it before. You know what? I will die on the hill for this one. I wanted Justin Fields to be drafted by the Falcons, but you know Kyle Pitts, he's a Gator, so you know I was like, oh, why they draft? But you know what? He's been balling out. So if he breaks the record, I like my crow crunchy with hot sauce.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He said he needs
They say he need what? About 25 yards to break the record. I think he said he needs 25 yards to break a record.
I think he needs like 60 something.
Says he like 66, I think.
But I know he's injured too, so hopefully he plays next week because I know he's injured.
Like I said, even if he doesn't play and he doesn't break the record, hey, I'm fine. Hey, bro,
Hey man, you know what? Honestly, that was the best pick the Falcons could have made, and you know, I was the same way with Kanal Neal. I didn't want them to draft him because I think he was high. But Hey man, look, that's why I don't sign the checks for the Falcons. I don't sign the checks.
Yeah, because the only reason why we say that too is it's not a guarantee that Cordarrelle Patterson would be having the season he had if Kyle Pitts wasn't getting the attention he's getting.
That's true.
Right.
That's
Right.
true.
Mhm.
That's true. That's true. So, like I said, that's why I say I don't sign the checks. The people that see the team play every day, that's who sign the checks.
Right. Because I'm about to say, and I'm gonna ask y'all this in reality and ask you this right here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say if you did draft Justin Fields right now, right? If you drafted him in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Julio's gone. Calvin really go through the situation he get now.
Mm-hmm.
Receivers can't get open worth a damn right now. How do you think this offense will actually look?
The same way they look today with Matt Ryan. It wouldn't have mattered.
It wouldn't have mattered.
It wouldn't have mattered.
It just Justin Fields would have got more yards rushing.
And that's the only thing that would have happened. He got more yards rushing, but he wouldn't have won the game for us. And honestly, I think, and I hate to say this because I don't want to say this. I think the reason a lot of Falcons fans wanted Justin Fields because they're holding on to that big ghost.
That's all
Of course they are.
Yeah, they hold on to that big ghost. And I'm gonna tell you right now, and I said it before, and I say it again: Justin Fields is nowhere near Michael Vick. And as much as I criticize Michael Vick, Justin Fields is nowhere near Michael Vick.
It's not even close.
Not even close. That's just my opinion. He's nowhere near Michael Vick and what he did for this franchise. He's nowhere near.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, you just would throw a whole season away. Like you said, he would run the ball. He would get you some rushing yards.
Oh, he would bring some excitement to the franchise, but it's just like I think the Falcons fans are more about gratification than just building over time.
Mm-hmm.
They're more about gratification because they see what the Saints did. They see what the Bucs are doing right now. I think they just hungry for a championship, and I get it. I want a championship too, but do it the right way. Do it the right way.
You got to do it the right way. The right way.
Got to do it the right way.
Trenches and defense will take you a long way.
Man, look, please, look. There are a lot of pass rushers. There are a lot of linebackers in the draft. Please, look, get the Kobe Dean. Bring it to Atlanta. Get the Kobe Dean, please.
Yeah, it ain't got to be Nakobe Dean. It could be Devontae Wyatt. It could be
Drake London.
At my point, look, because Mike knows. Look, we can get Devontae Wyatt. We can get Nakobe Dean, Jordan Davis, Shannon. One of them, please come to our team.
Boy, it'd be a whole bunch of. Nah, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna save that.
I told Mike if we get Jordan Davis and Perry Grady Jet, it's over. It's over.
Oh, it's definitely over.
If we get Jordan Davis and Grady Jet on the same, bruh.
I see. I was gonna hold my thoughts about the draft till later, but like, because y'all already know.
Okay, I'm like I said, because I've been saying this for the last couple of weeks, and I might stand on it. I might eat crow as well. I think Devontae Wyatt might be a better fit for Atlanta than Jordan Davis.
Exactly. That man is. But fast.
I will say this. I did watch the Utah game, and that Lloyd linebacker, I'll take him too. That Lloyd linebacker, yes, I'll take him too.
Yeah,
put him in there with Debo. Yes,
he's good, but like I think we kind of set on linebacker right now. We got like Mikel Walker, Foye, and Dion.
Ogundeji.
I think the fact that we talk so much about defense is because the Falcons fans have been hungry for defense since Patrick Kearney. So I mean, we've been hungry for defense for real. Patrick Kearney, John Abraham. Like, look, if the Falcons can get a decent defense, we'll be good. Because our offense is okay. We just need some defense.
Right.
So Dante Fowler, Dante Fowler is I need to charge him for armed robbery the way he's robbing the Falcons right now.
No, we just go get him a green belt and a
That's
gi.
dumb.
That's about what he need right now.
I was so disappointed with him. He's turning to Vic Beasley 2.0 right now.
I
He
can.
ain't even Big Beasley.
He ain't even close to
Big
Vic
Beasley.
Beasley, to be honest with you. He ain't close to Vic Beasley.
Well,
At least Vic Beasley gave you something. He, like I said, you seen something.
Well, all I know is I saw today he whipped on about 3 sacks today. I was just like, bro, you had about 3 of them.
That's
right
on the
there.
light
3 of them
side. That's on the light side. That's on the light side.
I told you, bro. That dude was trying to do that Luke. Now he wasn't trying to do the bicycle kick. This guy, he was trying to do that Luke Kane like across the screen kick. The one we were like, whoa! You tried to do that one.
Well, Mike, you know what school you went to, right?
No, I don't need to know that.
Okay,
I know your son. I know your son looking at your cross-eyed right about that.
I'm just putting it out there. He went to the University of Florida. You know they trash anyway, so.
Hey, son, they can't be no more trash.
Hey, Mike, this how bad he is. He didn't even sack Drake Fromm. That's how bad he is.
Bro, this dude, I don't know.
Exactly.
Look, I don't want to talk about that. Let's get to these.
Let's go ahead.
Let's get these last words in, man. And
so my question,
I'm upset. I'm just upset that you can't even finish sacks. Like it's not like he's not getting there. He's getting there. But I just like, bro, you
know what? If he would have finished today, he would have had 3 sacks today. If he would have finished today,
you ever seen one of them scenes where they just got they got oil all over their body and stuff like that? You ever seen one of them scenes where they got all everywhere? That's where he act. That's how he act. He act like he just got all this everywhere. Like the quarterback got all everywhere. He just everything just slips off.
You know what? Honestly, bro, it's just like he would have had 3 today. If he would have finished his sacks today, he would have had 3. He would have had 3 today. He would have had 3. It's just
you ain't wrong about liking him. He's just been a disappointment. I wouldn't say, because what a complete failure is a guy that just ain't even getting to the quarterback. Ray Edwards wouldn't even get to the quarterback.
You see all that diving that was going. You see all that diving that was going on in the backfield. All that diving and missing and all that in the backfield look like.
Wait! Did he do like a Superman punch type thing and he missed totally? Tried to do Superman punch.
Hey, Styles! You remember the game Angry Birds when the birds be just shooting every way missing?
Oh yeah, you're like.
You know what, honestly, you know what? I'm glad we could laugh about this, but our defense got to get better, man. We really do. Their defense got to get better. We really do.
The team got to get better. That's just the defense in particular, but the whole team has to get better.
So my question to you guys is this: where do we start? Because I said the trenches, and a lot of people said we need perimeter players. Where do you think the Falcons need to start to get better?
Oh, let me hold on. Wide receiver. In my personal opinion, I think we start at wide receiver because stuff that's happening with Calvin Ridley is uncertain, and I feel like on the defensive side, when healthy, aside from edge, we can make the playoffs. Just factoring the defense, but on the offense, we don't have much viable threats when we're just coming out of shotgun. We only have Russell Gage and Pitts, and Pitts went down. So other than that, we only have Russell Gage who can beat press man against most corners. And other than that, we have nothing. And if Calvin Ridley is not coming back, then or if he is, or whatever's happening, we need just a backup. We need a backup. Taji Sharp is a decent number 2, but we need a backup. And I feel like there's a lot of prospects in this draft that are worth selecting. Like Jameson Williams, obviously, is big play, man. You know, he's really good at getting open downfield. We got Drake London.
Really? Is he really good at getting open, or he just really good at running fast?
No, he can get open. He has ability to
all I
separate.
see is him running like Deshaun Jackson.
That's true, like on the outside, but like I've seen some reps from him in the slot where he's able to get open. But
that's in college.
But he also uses his vertical push to get open, which is stuff that you see Michael Gallup use.
That's exactly what I see. That's exactly what I mean, and that's where but when I'm looking at him, because you got to hear even the producers or the announcers of the show, they were saying that Mechie was that guy on third down. So if he is that guy at third down, why isn't Jameson Williams not there?
Well, Jameson Williams uses his vertical push to set up routes underneath, and he's really good at separating in when people sell out to guard him over top, which is stuff that Calvin Ridley is excellent at. That's why when you did those deep outs and stuff, he used his speed to build up speed, and corners would be like, oh, he's about to run a go, they're probably going to throw it to him, and boom, he'd snap off and get like a 25-yard out, which is stuff that Jameson Williams can do. Like on play action passes, he can be that guy running crossers and getting open, like how Russell Gage was used, how Kyle Pitts was used, and stuff like that. But I think that Drake London is someone that a lot of people have been talking about, and it's worth the hype. Like that dude is big and has separation quickness, which is really rare. I like Drake London. I think that and he can break tackles too. I think he was like, before he got injured, he was like tied 7th in the league in like breaking forced missed tackles or something like that. So he's good. We got like players in the first round, and then there's like some backup players in case you get injured. Like Romeo Dubs could come in and be a better option possibly than OZ when it comes to breaking man coverage. So I think we got there's some depth in this wide receiving class, but I think we address wide receiver first. Like edge, there's like some decent edge rushers in the second round, which we can pick up, but I think we go wide receiver.
Who else going next?
I'll go. Go, man. Go ahead.
What was the question?
What should the Falcons do with this draft? Should they go? What position they need the most to fill the hole? What should they start?
They should start with the defense. At first, I will move to I'll start with the defense. Then I'll move to the offensive line, and then I'll finish it up with the receivers and running backs or whatever that's available. But I will definitely start off with the defense.
I agree. Drew, anybody? Who else want to go?
I think on the defense, I would start on the defense. The trenches. The trenches is huge. I think you'll be able to find a wide receiver. Like even if we say trade down, as Mike was saying earlier, or even if we decide to stay where we at, I would go out and get the best defense alignment available. Whether it's inside and getting Grady a partner like a Jordan Davis, or maybe an edge. I don't know. I haven't actually, started breaking down the tape for the guys that are going to be in this draft as far as the edge guys. But once the season is over, that's usually when I start doing my assessments for the guys like in the draft. As y'all know, I say I don't watch a ton of college football as far as every team.
Yeah.
So many different teams. So I like to wait towards the end of the season, like once the Falcons season is over, to kind of give my assessments of players. But I would start with the defensive line because if you look at today's game and you look at this season, the biggest issue for Dean Pease is we're not getting that initial pressure with just 4. You shouldn't have to blitz necessarily to get home and get pressure. And that's one of the biggest issues I'm seeing with this Falcons defense. But we've known that's been our Achilles heel for the last some season, ever since John Abraham left, real talk. Vic Beasley had a couple seasons where he was solid, but John Abraham was that guy who could consistently get pressure, and we had a defensive line with Rod Coleman, guys around him, Jonathan Babineau, that can consistently get pressure. So I would go out and bring in another partner for Grady, and then I would also bring in an edge guy, and then that second round pick or the next pick, I would go with a wide receiver and then I would go from there. But you got to start in the trenches. I think the offensive line is going to be okay. I think that they just need more time together as they continue to gel. Like I said, I've seen Mayfield, I've seen Hennessy improve enough where I'm not too worried about going out and taking a high draft pick. Yeah, you may go in and bring some guys in with depth pieces, like on the offensive line, but I wouldn't go in and get a top pick in this draft for the offensive line because we've done that already. I would just go in and bring guys that can battle, maybe be guys later on in the draft that can be depth pieces. And then we keep forgetting that we have Matt Gono, who is a guy who was a dog. Like Matt Gono was just injured. He could easily come in and challenge any of these guys that are currently on this offensive line. Like we talk about Mayfield, God forbid if he doesn't develop, you have a guy like Matt Gono that can fill in or take over that starting role. So at this point, I will let these guys that are, on the offensive line, let those guys gel. But as far as the draft, defensive line is imperative. You have to go in and get pressure. Like y'all talked about my man Dante Fowler. I'm still a huge Dante Fowler fan, but like we said, I have I grade on a high scale. His bar is raised high, and he hasn't met that. So to be honest, Dante Fowler's just hurting himself with that because, like I talked about Ridley earlier, he's not going to get those incentives that he could have got because he missed a lot of these sacks that he's whiffed on. He could have easily gained back a lot of the money that he lost. So he lost a lot of money this year because
he's getting there. That's the frustrating part. That's why I said he hasn't been a bust, but he's been a disappointment. Because he's actually getting there.
Yeah.
It's just I just think the fact of the matter is when he gets there, he doesn't have a finishing technique.
It's
like
fundamental.
Like a great pass rusher that will have to get to a quarterback that will flatten. He will flatten, and then when he flattens, he pops up like, bro, why you on the one play against Buffalo? He flattened against the offensive line, but then he just jumped up and tried to Superman punch Josh Allen. I'm like, bro, you was flat, just hit him. And you know what? And it goes back, and I think it goes back to the whole protecting the quarterback. I think that he didn't want to hit the quarterback in the wrong way to get a penalty. I think it's just the fact that the NFL protects the quarterback so much that he's like, I don't know how to attack this quarterback. So it confuses a lot of defensive players because I remember back last year, a lineman from the Miami Dolphins, he tore his ACL because he didn't know how to tackle the quarterback. So I think that this is more so on the NFL because the NFL wants to protect the quarterbacks, but they're not protecting the defensive players making the play. It seems like they're handcuffing more of the defensive players making plays. And I'm not discounting Dante Fowler. I think he's still rubbish, but I'm just trying to give him a bone here. That's all I'm trying to do. Give him a bone here.
But you got to think about he had a little help, but a tragic happened where some stuff happened, and that help wasn't no longer there no more. Like with Bakarius Mingo, we forgot about him. He was one of the linebackers that we had that had caught the case or whatever, and they fired him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just. I think it's just the fact of the matter is I just feel that the defensive players are handcuffed because they don't want to break the rules. They don't want to break the rules because the NFL
I saw a lot of that today. That's why I was so frustrated. I saw
the NFL gives the offense they give the offense so much leeway that you don't know how to right. You don't know as a defensive player. You know what you're supposed to do. And then it goes back to when Kenny Pickett did that fake slide, the defensive players pulled up, and it got called a touchdown. Like, if I'm a defensive coordinator, I'm whooping ass because I'm pissed off. Like, what do you want my players to do? You don't want my players to hit the quarterback and knock him out, but you got the quarterbacks and running backs fake slide on my defense, and they don't know what to do. So
I saw a lot of that from them. I saw a lot of that from Josh Allen today, where he took it to the linebackers, and the linebackers are trying not to knock him out because if they hit him any type of way, they hit Josh Allen any type of way, they gonna call a flag. And that's why I said today it really pissed me off in the space today because I saw the quarterback, the mobile quarterback, has so much leeway to do whatever he want to do because they just protecting him.
And you know why they protect the quarterbacks, because the quarterbacks brings money in for them. They bring money in for them because look at it. It's like basketball. I don't want to go to a game if Steph Curry's not playing or Kevin Durant. I want to see the stars play, so they're protecting the quarterbacks. Even though the quarterbacks are trash, most of the quarterbacks in the league are trash. People want to see touchdowns and points. So that's my assumption. They try to protect the quarterbacks because the quarterbacks put the points up.
Mm-hmm. So that we been on it month for two. That's kind of
because I'm hungry too. I'm about to go to I want to go to Taco Bell, get me a steak quesadilla. So
hey, I'm hungry myself. Go ahead, Drew. We're gonna start with you, and then we'll go to Alex and Money Man.
All right, man. I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. Like Dre said, he eating his crow. I'm eating my crow as well, Dre. I said that this was going to be, I think I said 10-7. I think that's what me and K Styles, that was our vote for 10-7. They were going to make the playoffs. They fell short of that. They're not in the playoffs. They got eliminated today. But I'm proud of this team. I want to say that I'm very proud of this team.
Right.
Like I said, they overachieved this year because when I said that they were going 10-7, that was prior to me knowing that Calvin Ridley was not going to be here for the majority of the season. So I do kind of have a caveat. Me and Kevin do have an out. Well, K-Style got an out because we didn't know going into it that it would be without Calvin Ridley. I thought Calvin Ridley would be here. We'll have Kyle Pitts, Calvin Ridley, Hayden Hurst, and Cordarrelle Patterson. It didn't work out that way. But I'm still proud of this team because we even seen today, even when they got the Bills got out to that lead, I think it was up 14-2 at one point. This team clawed back into the game and at halftime had it 15-14. So that just shows you that this team, no matter what, Arthur Smith and Terry Fontenot, they're building that winning culture because we see that this year they have no give up in this team. Every single game, like I think the point spread was like 14.5 going into this game.
It was 6.5 by Vegas. It was 6.5.
Okay, 6.5. This team was like right there with them the whole game. For the majority of the game, the Falcons was right here in that game. You know, one possession game to pretty much all the way down to the fourth quarter. They was scratching, clawing, doing everything they could to win this game. And what we're not counting as well that we have to take into account for this game, you were out Fabian Monroe. You were out the Marlon Davisons. A lot of the players that we do have, a lot of those guys were on the COVID list. You were out of Jonathan Bullard. So we got to take that into account as well. We weren't at full strength with the guys that normally suit up. Hayden Hurst was not in this game. That played another key role into this game. And even with all of those guys being down, we still fought. And these dudes came to play and went toe-to-toe with one of the better teams in the AFC. So shout out to this Falcons for competing today. Like I said, we're not making the playoffs, but we have one more game left against the Saints next week. So let's get on a high note. Yeah, at home, let's get on a high note and get one more win for the season, one more win for the fans.
Go on a high note.
Yeah, go on a high note. In the season at 8-9. But even if you end the season at 7-10, like this was, like I said, to squeak 7 wins out with this roster, it just shows you the difference. When you have coaches that understand time of possession, they understand development of young players. The sky's the limits for this Falcons organization. So shout out to everybody. Also, make sure you guys go over, hit the subscribe button. Jew Talk Sports, Atlanta Falcons Nation. I don't know, have we hit 2,000 yet here at Atlanta Falcons Nation?
We about less than 30 away. We was about less than 40 away. I think
so we're like almost 40 away from 2,000. So help us get over to 2,000. Look, we have one more game left. Our goal was to reach 2,000 before the end of the season. So help us get to 2,000. But hit everybody's channel, Mad Mike Sports. 6-man K Styles, y'all go hit his channel up as well. We appreciate each and every one of you guys. I believe we'll have one more heavy hitter show this coming week before this Saints game. So y'all tune into that. And I have a lot more coming for you guys on my channel. Stay tuned. I am getting ready to start my membership on my channel, so you guys stay tuned. I'm gonna drop a video on my channel talking about the membership and all of the perks for the membership. So just stay tuned because it's a new year. I got a lot of things that I'm gonna be doing on my channel this year for you guys. So stay tuned to that. But as always, like we said, man, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. We do this for you guys after every single game. As K-Style say, hey, for us, this is how we put ourselves on the couch. It's therapy for us to talk about these games, to release some of that stress. Because after this game, I ain't gonna lie, this game hurt. This game,
You talk about stress, bro.
Yeah, this was one of them games, man, that hurt because I knew that we needed this one to stay in that playoff hunt, and I really felt like this team had what it took.
Yeah, it's facts. It's facts. Who's next?
Go ahead, Dre.
Go ahead, Dre.
Me? Oh no, I mean I'm just I apologize for not being on here as much as I said I was gonna be, dealing with life. But I'm definitely gonna be on for the next go round. As usual, I enjoy my Falcons, and as much as I cuss them out and talk about how terrible they are, I still ride with them. I've been a fan for about 25, 30 years, and I'm still gonna be here. I pretty much agree with what you said. The only way is up right now. We made some strides this year. I didn't expect the Falcons to win 7 games. I figured they'd win 4. And with this, especially with this roster we had, the fact that we eked out 7 wins with a first-year coach and this roster that's pretty much in shambles right now from the last regime, I'm excited for what's going to be in store next year. I know a lot of people said that Matt Ryan did this and did that, but he wasn't the problem, and he never was the problem. It was a lot of things that was. So I'm excited, man. And I'll definitely be back next year to chime in and do a lot more. You know me, rise up, go Falcons, Bird game. You know what it is. So that's all I got to say.
Oh man. Hey, I'll go ahead and go next, man. Like I said, why are we acting like this season's over? I mean, we out the playoffs, but we still got one game against
Dang.
Yeah. But all serious note, like I said, we are out the playoffs. Like you said, I was one of the guys with the 10-7. Even when I knew Calvin Ridley was out, I was still going on it because I'm finna be tiptoed down. Mike and Dre will tell you, I stand tiptoed down with regardless. I'm a Tech fan. I'm one of the last surviving ones left. There's only 4 of us left. So that lets you know I ain't going nowhere regardless of what this team does. Yes, they got a whole lot to do. They got a lot of work to go ahead. But at the end of the day, if the over and under for this team this year in wins was about 5 or 6, and this was before the Julio and Calvin Ridley thing happened. You got to remember that too. When they did the 5 and 6 over under wins for the Falcons, Julio and Calvin was part of this franchise. We don't have neither one of those two. And we inked out 7. And if you actually look at this whole entire season, outside of these 7, you could throw 3 plays that actually could have made you 10, could get you 10 wins to this point. But if was a fifth, we all be drunk. The reality is we just got to go out with a bang. The future is high for this team. It's just all going to come down to Arthur Smith and Terry Fontenot getting the guys that come in to fit in what they want. So for a lot of y'all that may have jumped off, this is a good time to jump off. Don't jump your ass back on when stuff start getting good.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have a list and I write names down. I just let y'all know. I write names down. I have like what Jericho used to say, you're on the list. Yeah, I got that list right there.
Mm-hmm.
So I write names down. If stuff start going good, I'm gonna look at that list. If y'all show up and you start giving props to this team, I'm gonna look at that list. Like, oh, wait a minute. You the one that said this franchise will go nowhere.
Just saying.
I'm just saying.
So Alex, money man, what you got?
I'm a diehard regardless. You know, I talk when I'm mad. I talk trash about my team, but I still love them though. You know, I talk trash, I get mad, get in my feelings, but it's with me forever. Hey, I got it engraved on my hand. It's tatted on my hand. It's here forever. So, you know, we had a, you know, Arthur Smith, he did a great job, accomplished a lot of things because what coach, you know, come in the first year and can win 7 games with a roster that he had nothing to do with. So that speaks volumes on him as well. I think he's going to have a great future. I believe, you know, we're going to have a great future as well because quite sure we already know Arthur Blank is tired of wasting his money. And I'm looking forward to being on the show. Just like I said, you know, I always want to be on here every week, but, you know, with me dealing with different things, you know, kind of had me occupied or whatever.
Yeah.
And I want to come back for the future as well. And I thank y'all for having me today.
Yes, sir. Alex, you got something?
Yeah. Well, first I'd like to say thank y'all for tuning in. This year was a good year, and we didn't have all of our players healthy. We weren't operating at 100% potential or capacity. So it was a rough season, but it was a good season. We saw a lot of progress. We saw a lot of potential. We saw a lot of good things from our young players. We saw some not so good things. And this is all, without players like Io, players like Calvin Ridley, players that we need on this team, players that we will do good in the future with them on the team. So honestly, we just got to keep up hope, and I trust in Terry Fontenot. I trust in this team that will make the right decisions to propel us into the playoffs in the next 2 or 3 years.
Forever, I love Atlanta.
Yeah, boy, Dakota up here doing his best Tony Romo impression. But I'll say this, man. I'm very emotional when I'm watching my Falcons, and yeah, I was really pissed off today. I wanted it so bad. I wanted that playoff so bad, and because I know how these guys, they fought, they clawed, and man, they had every. If anything went wrong, it went wrong this year. I wanted it that bad for those guys because, like I said, bro, Julio quit on them. Calvin essentially quit, and I'm gonna put in quotation because I don't know the situation, so I'll just put in quotation. But they had a lot of things just not good there. Isaiah Oliver, one of the best defenders that we have on the team. He had a knee injury, so it's just Mike Davis, one of the guys who was supposed to be, that guy after having, 1,000 purpose yard last year. We expected more out of him. That didn't happen. Dante Fowler, we expected him to have it at the very least 6 sacks. That didn't happen. So many injuries, just time and time again. It's we've had everything, and I wanted for those guys. You know what I'm saying? Just me. So I was really in my feelings today. I'm not gonna lie, because like I said, at the end of the day, these guys deserve that. They deserve the playoff. I don't say that much, but this team deserves a playoff. They've been through hell this year. I don't think any other NFL squad who's been through more than what the Falcons have been this year. They've been through hell. They lost if you can imagine losing everything, the Falcons lost everything. They lost one of the greatest receivers in the history of the game, and then you got the second. We're talking about the second receiver, and he could perhaps go on to be an NFL great just on his talent alone. They lost both of them. This team deserved it. So at the end of the day, I'm proud of what these guys have done, and we got one more game to go out. And I'm gonna say this too. I gotta give him respect to Arthur Smith. To see his look on the face on the sideline when he was like, "Damn, we're not going to the playoffs." I haven't seen that look from a lot of our coaches. A lot of coaches, they look like they ain't got no emotions. He really like he was pissed. He was like, "Damn, I'm not really making the playoff this year." Like you could see it on his face, and that's what we've been preaching and wanting from this team. Just have somebody that cared. We didn't even know if Dan Quinn cared. That's the honest truth. We didn't know if he cared. It was no emotions, like nobody had no feelings, no, just like numb. So I know that this dude cares now, and that right there goes a long way for me. Looked like he at least care about losing. He looked like he was. If I'm gonna find that still picture, but he was upset. He was looking just like, how Arthur Smith was looking at Dan Quinn on the sideline, where Dan Quinn is Arthur is behind Dan Quinn. He looked like he about to. No, it was Mike Smith. Mike Smith. It was Mike Smith. That's how he was looking, and he just looked like he was real upset, and that we finally got a coach that cares. That's all I wanted, a coach that cares. He looks like he wants to win. This dude is not in it to lose. He wants to win, and that's what we needed here.
Instead of Dan Quinn's emotionless ass expressions went.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we lost. Oh, okay. Nah, man. Oh boy, yeah. Like I said, this is a heartbreaker. We still got one more game to go. The next game is a pride game.
Mm-hmm.
You got your most hated rivals coming into your house.
Mm-hmm.
If you mad about not making the playoffs, you take it out on them. But we appreciate everybody appreciate everybody tuning in. LT, Dre, Alex, Money Man for joining us on this post-game show. As we say, y'all continue to support Atlanta Falcon Nation. Support Six Man K-Style. Support Jew Talk Sports. Support Mad Mike Sports. Hey, man, we do this shit. We here for the long haul. Good, bad, whatever. 17-0, 0-17. We still going to give you the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as we always say here in Atlanta Falcon Nation, before I do, we also got to give a RIP to Dan Reeves. That hurt. And I think that's what makes this loss actually hurt worse. I think that's why a lot of people. I think that's why a lot of people really heard about this loss. Well, the true Falcon fans heard about this loss because we lost Dan Reeves,
the GOAT. he gave us what we wanted, what we needed at that time, and we needed at least one opportunity to get to the Super Bowl, and he gave us that. So that was a memorable season. That was one of the greatest seasons the NFL has ever seen. Again, one of those underrated teams that wasn't supposed to do anything. So, yeah, man.
Right. So, like I said, RIP to Dan Reeves. But as we say here at Atlanta Falcon Nation, we ain't here to play. We here to stay. You ain't got to go home.
But you got to get the hell up out of here.
Deuces.